Is that Matterhorn?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a fucking mountain.
It's named Matterhorn. It's on the Toblerone package.
No, it's from Disneyland, you fucking idiot.
You're literally retarded.
Your face! As you like tried to comprehend the idiocy of the statement.
Ow.
Oh my god.
I heard a story that there used to be it was a basketball like gym area for employees in the Matterhorn in either Disneyland or Disney World. I don't know if that's true.
Like inside the ride?
Yeah, like in the mountain portion of the ride there was a gymnasium.
And did the ride go past it?
I don't know.
That would be hilarious.
I think it was
it's
hidden
just
away.
like
That'd be
regular,
good, though.
like Yetis chasing you. Oh, that's scary. And then and here's a bunch of people on ellipticals, and then you're back into
Right. With like a really low key, smooth jazz cover of "Girl from Ipanema" playing.
Just a bunch of employees having lunch,
and then boom, 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 boom. Thunder noises, Yeti noises.
fucking so good. When I went to Disneyland, the Matterhorn was shut down. I couldn't go on it. I was very sad.
That happened to me too.
Oh yeah.
Just for some reason, the
It's
Matterhorn
a dangerous ride. It's always shut down because people die
it just
on it.
really likes to break down.
Yeah, apparently.
I don't know what it is.
That and the space ride.
Space Mountain?
That was it. Also Space Mountain. Is that
No,
what it's
there's a
called?
couple space rides.
Well, no, it's the Space Mountain ride. I think.
Yeah.
It's like something.
Space Mountain's my favorite ride.
It was
at
shut
Disneyland.
down as well when I got there. Couldn't ride it. Also, I can't ride rides. I wouldn't have gone on them if they were working.
Space Mountain's the best, definitely. The California one, not the Orlando one. Yeah,
okay.
they're different rides.
Oh, really?
I think some famous musician did the soundtrack for the Orlando one, but it wasn't as good as the California one, for which the soundtrack was done by Michael Giacchino, who wrote the Mission Impossible theme.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's a really great song.
it's just.
And it's going to play right now. That was 3 seconds. That was 3 legal seconds of
Really?
Space Mountain.
Yeah, that's the rule, right?
Yeah, I'm just creating work for Matt right now.
Yes, I'm glad.
Yeah.
And here's a realistic sound of a kangaroo call.
That was a kangaroo call.
I hate this.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas. Welcome to an Australian Christmas with the Quizzicast.
I'm your host, Sandy, and with me, my co-host, Logan, and very special guest, Matt.
Thank you for having me. It's
Shout
good
out to
be
everyone
here.
from Matt's work.
I'm usually never on this podcast.
They're obviously
it's good to be
listening.
here as a guest.
Yeah, it's been a while, Matt, since we've had you on the show.
Yeah.
How do you feel coming back on the Quizzicast?
I feel like my odds are pretty good. My chances
Odds of what? I'm sorry, what do you think this show is, man?
This is a game show, is it not?
It is now. Here's Space Mountain, our theme song.
Followed by the sound of a realistic kangaroo.
This is turning out great. Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to Space Mountain Kangaroos, the only podcast with Space Mountain and realistic kangaroos, with our special guest, Matt. Matt, how's your week been? Tell us.
And by week,
tell
we
us about
mean
your
past
life.
like 2 months.
Yeah.
Since we've recorded one of these. My week's been good. This week has been relatively uneventful, and also it just started.
That's exactly what we want to hear on a podcast.
Exactly.
I went to work, and then I came home. And
What did you have for breakfast, Matt? Please outline it step by step what you made and how
This
it
is all
tasted.
part of the game show. We're going to give you points based on this.
Points based on how exciting my life is.
No,
Specifically
based on-
your breakfast.
Not yeah, and it's not how exciting. It's based on a bunch of labyrinthine and unknowable metrics that you'll never be able to understand.
Yeah, it's a lot
That's
like
what I like to hear.
quantum mechanics. Like, we don't know them either, but we'll claim
Yeah.
we know them.
Although sometimes it's based on the show Quantum Leap as well.
I was gonna say a whole bunch of unknowables. It's like Mario Party.
The game/video game Quantum Leap, Logan?
Both.
Wow.
This is a comedy
An
and
Xbox
video gaming
exclusive.
podcast. Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
I heard it was bad. Anyways,
yeah.
Tell me about your breakfast, Matt.
I also didn't hear good things
Merry
about
Christmas.
it. I was in a hurry to get out the door this morning, so I had just eggs.
And survey says
That's an acceptable answer. Thank you very much, Matt.
Eggs is a thing that people eat in the morning, so yeah, I feel qualified in my.
How'd you have your eggs?
Scrambled.
Did he say that when he made it? I wasn't listening.
That's a little lazy. I think we're going to dock points for that, but
Okay.
it depends on how creamy the scramble was. Did you go to the Gordon Ramsay route or just a regular 5:30 a.m. breakfast at a Holiday Inn route?
I definitely try the Gordon Ramsay route. I don't go all the way with it. Like I don't have a pot
Okay.
for the eggs, but I do. But I like cook it slow and stir it a lot.
Try adding more butter next time and using chopsticks. It'll make them better.
Bam.
Okay.
Here's a clip of Gordon Ramsay saying the word olive oil.
I'm not putting that in.
And that was only the 3 legal seconds we can share on
He
this
says
show.
olive oil very slowly. It takes him a full 3 seconds to say it.
Even if he doesn't, if it takes 1 second, we're gonna Paul stretch the audio. So it takes 3 seconds.
That's
I
rate
think your
stretch.
mic is falling through the pop filter because I heard it rattling.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's some rattling.
There's some rattling.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that a horrible catastrophe doesn't happen in the middle of our game show.
Matt, you did not know this, and I appreciate you for pointing this out. But you do get extra points for that observation. You are in the lead from any of our other guests.
Shakes every time.
Man, I'm gonna have a nightmare editing this episode.
Well, you asked for it, Matt. This is the game show of all game shows. This is the only game show that is only a podcast and not a TV
I'm gonna
show.
have to cut out half this episode.
There are many game shows on podcasts. Sandy, get it together.
I'm not aware of them, so they don't exist. Let's move on to the next question.
Wait. Don't tell me that you don't know about the game shows that are podcasts. No one gets that joke because it's a podcast game show joke, and I feel upset. I'm sorry.
What the fuck did I just tell you, Logan? I don't know about any game shows that are podcasts. Next question. What did you have for lunch?
I'm done with this bit.
This bit is over.
It was fun while it lasted.
It was a great bit. I think it's one of the best bits. It's definitely one of best of Quizzicast. It's definitely in that playlist.
Not a high bar. Not a high bar. Yeah.
No, we're funny, dude.
Well, now that you've said that, you've
It's definitely
immediately you've cut our potential funniness in half.
Yeah. And half of our audience is now left, so goodbye, Moloch.
Well, fuck them. Hey, we're funny. That's why we're doing the podcast, and you're listening to it, okay? If you're listening to this, you're listening to the podcast. Come on.
You're obviously not listening to it for informed video game discussion.
And also,
Video games.
What about them?
One just came out that seems to be making the news.
Below?
Yeah. How'd you know? How'd you know that was the one I was thinking of?
Was it actually the one you were
No,
thinking?
fuck no. I don't know what the fuck that is.
You had me for a second.
So it's like there's a bunch. It's Christmas time, everybody, and this is when all the video games are out and about having their good times. It's the worst time to be a video game, and it's the best time to be a gamer.
I am a gamist, I must admit.
You're a gamist.
I've been known to game time to time.
Are you a certified gamist?
That the jury's out. I think my application's still in process, but I will receive it soon. I feel like I did this exact bit
I feel like we've
in
done
the
this
first
bit before.
episode.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
we did
yeah.
do it in the first episode.
I think this is how we led into the Halo discussion.
The first episode,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is episode 25.
Yes.
naturally.
And then and then the Halo talk is how we then started. We went from that to the rest of E3. Never been a better time to be a gamer.
Exactly. And
All right.
then those things happen, and now we're here.
Yeah.
This is the throwback cast.
Quite
We're just
literally
gonna
from the bottom.
Yeah, we really need to move on because we're just reusing jokes now.
okay.
Not a
below,
lot of content in this podcast.
below. That's a game that came out. Logan,
It
what'd
is.
you think of it?
It's great.
Anyways, moving on. Do you want to maybe elaborate?
I'm glad that
For the audience here.
So you've played it and have things to say about it. I'm happy.
I do,
because I've
yes.
heard about it.
Yes.
and still have not actually.
Yeah,
done
I'll
research on it.
I'll talk about Below for a hot minute or two.
I mean,
3 legal
Or it's Christmas,
minutes.
so it's a cold, cinnamony cider minute.
well, no.
Well,
the
warm
cider's
cider.
hot.
The cider's hot, but it's cold outside. My
Baby,
body's cold.
it's cold
Baby.
outside.
There's a baby in the cider.
Baby cider.
Baby cinnamon cider, delicious. Love it. Pour some eggnog on my nipples. Here we go.
Baby cider insider edition.
Baby.
So talk about Below for the legal minute that you're allowed to
Yes.
talk about.
Yeah.
So Below's a game made by a Canadian game studio, I believe. Cappy Games. They they've been making this game for a while. They announced it like 5 years ago, and when they announced it, it looked really cool. Very atmospheric trailer of like a little duder going up to a big tall door on an island. Seemed cool. Called Below. You're like, that sounds like a dungeon. Turns out it is. But yeah, it kind of released in a weird way. They had not announced anything about it for a very long time, like probably a year or something. And then a week before it came out, they're like, it's coming out next week. And no fanfare, just a launch trailer saying, hey, it'll be on Steam in a weekend, Xbox for free on their Game Pass thing. That was worrying to me because I was like, oh no, this game has been developed for 5 years, and then they do little fanfare. They don't send out any advanced copies to reviewers, and they just kind of made it kind of like, we're just going to release this game and hope nobody talks about it. Which is unfortunate. I think does the game a disservice because the game is a really interesting take on like mixing a roguelike with Dark Souls. It brands itself as a roguelike, but it really isn't. The game is a straight up and up dungeon crawler. You're on an island. There's just one big dungeon that goes down. And it has an incredibly steep learning curve that's very like it's more of a cliff that occurs at a certain point where the game's very easy up until a certain point in the game when it becomes very, very difficult, and it begins like punishing the player in ways that are not exactly like they feel like missteps. It's unfortunate because the game visually is stunning. Like it does this, it has this wonderful art style where you're a very small character in a very large screen, and it uses an orthographic projected camera to make everything kind of look flattened. And they use kind of a flat, like low poly art style on like most of the world. But the thing that's really striking is one, that orthographic camera thing, and then also what they do with like camera effects. So they have a chromatic aberration effect around the edge of the screen. So it's like a blurred out edge of focus type deal, except for around where your character's at.
Right.
And they have that on top of like a fog system. So there's a fog system on every new floor of the dungeon you go into, or every new room of the dungeon you go into. And not only is the rest of the dungeon obscured by this blurry effect, it's also covered in fog. And once you disperse the fog, that blur stays there when you leave the area. So it still is kind of hard to see. And it creates this incredibly claustrophobic sense in the game. Because on top of all of this, like light is an incredibly valuable resource in this game. And there's a bunch of floors within the game that are just like pitch black dark. And they have some really cool ways of playing with light and playing with that kind of claustrophobic, like suffocating feeling of things coming in around you.
This immediately sounds up my alley.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love it. Honestly, it's
Based
great.
on the video that I made.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's honestly like aesthetically beautiful. Mechanically, it's great, except for like a few weird things in what seems. I haven't beaten the game, but I feel like I'm in the end game, and the end game makes some major missteps. It feels like they just do a bunch of stuff that makes the game slow down to a crawl, and the game is already glacially paced. Like the game takes so long to get going, which is why currently it's sitting at pretty mixed reviews on Steam. Like a lot of people are like, I played this game for 2 hours and I like only got to the second floor of the dungeon, right? And they're like, this game's garbage, I'm refunding it. And that's true. The game takes forever to get going, but it's all in service of kind of building this oppressive mood of the game. And the way I've been describing it to people in like a short kind of pithy statement is that this game kind of distills the feeling of being in Blight Town in Dark Souls. So in Dark Souls, there's an area called Blight Town where you're deep underground, and there's like no way for you to escape. You have to push forward to continue on in the game. And like the way you get down there has a bunch of one-way falls that make it so you can't go back up. And this game is just kind of built around that idea where the only way to continue is to keep going deeper, and almost every system in the game kind of builds on top of that. There's like the last thing I'm going to say, because I don't want to ramble on about this for too long, but that feeling of being pressed forward is supported by like two really key design decisions that I really like. The first one is their hunger system. So when the game first starts out, actually, these are kind of related. So the first is the hunger system, and the second is the instant death system. So when you first start playing the game, I just sprinted everywhere because I was like, fuck yeah, I can run fast, and the enemies were really easy on the first few floors. So I was just sprinting everywhere, having a great time, right? And then I got down to, I think it's like the second floor of the dungeon, and I'm sprinting around, having a great time, still haven't died, gotten hit like once, maybe, took like no damage. I'm like, this is easy, I'm on top of the world. And I was looking at it, I saw there's a hunger system. I was like, this hunger system doesn't fucking matter because I'm just ripping through this fucking floor. And then I immediately step on a spike trap that instantly kills me, right? And it's like a brutal death too. It like comes out of nowhere because the game feels very cutesy, but after a little while you realize the game is incredibly dark.
It's like it's Limbo.
Yeah, kind of. Like the spike trap like comes out of the ground and it like multiple impales your body as you like get lifted up off the ground and like blood spurts out. And then when you come and find your body again, you see the skeleton still hanging there with the spike trap still
cool.
triggered, right? But right when that happened, I stopped sprinting everywhere. It made the game way slower. I had to like be very careful everywhere I was going. They have a few other systems that support that trap system, the instant death system, that allow you to kind of avoid those instant death traps if you're perceptive or if you have certain items within the game.
So it doesn't feel unfair.
Yeah, it doesn't. Nothing in the game feels unfair until what. I don't want to get into it, but the late game has a few things that feel a bit unfair, or maybe not unfair, maybe just poorly considered from like a player's time perspective. I think they took the wrong things from the idea of roguelikes and I don't know, kind of messed up some of the stuff that has to do with like grinding and beginning a new run. But so by going slower and being more methodical, suddenly the hunger system mattered because suddenly I was taking like 2 to 3 times as long to clear a floor. And that meant that, all of my food is running out. And once you clear a floor of like all of its little creatures that you can hunt to kind of gather food to cook at the next campfire, you need to push further because one, once you use a campfire, it dies and you can't use it again on that run. And 2, the creatures run out. So you need to go deeper to find more creatures to create more food. So the game is always pushing you further and further down the dungeon, which is awesome. And the end game kind of throws it all out the window. Which is unfortunate. Like there's a bunch of things I love about the early and mid game of Below, and then the end game so far is feeling really rough. And I've like looked up some stuff in the player base, and a lot of the players that have dealt with this, there's a big backlash against this end game bit, and there's also a bunch of like people are like, no, it's great. All you have to do is like farm all these things for a long time, buy these really expensive items from the one shop in the game, and then like do all this other stuff every single run, and then it's going to be easy. I'm like, that's not good.
Yeah, no, that's definitely, taking from what is like the worst aspects of, like the aspects of roguelikes that are not as
Yeah, I think what they were trying to get from roguelikes is the idea that like in a run of NetHack or in a run of like ADOM or Brogue, like a run can take upwards of 20 hours, right? Like they're long fucking games. And when you die, you lose everything. But the thing that makes those first early hours interesting is that like they're very random. Like you have a chance of getting like the most powerful item in the game on the first floor of like most roguelikes, even if it's like a minuscule chance. In this game, there's very little randomization. Many of the game's areas are the same every time. And what little randomization there is gives very little room for getting like a strong run or getting like something that is like really helpful early on. It's more like, I got one more torch than I usually have, or I got a few more bandages, or hey, a few more foxes spawned here so I can make another bowl of soup. Right. And none of that feels great from a player perspective. It feels great from a world perspective. Like, oh man, you're scavenging. You feel like you're kind of on the cusp of dying. Right. And like really trying to survive, which is, like I said, cool in the mid to early game. Right. But then when you get to the late game, it just becomes a slog. Yeah. I would actually even prefer it if the game didn't have as many shortcuts it has that go back up to the top. So currently you get shortcuts every like 3 floors down the dungeon. And because of that, it feels like a better idea to just sprint to your corpse with like nothing and not bother looking for food or anything before going down, just because it feels like a better use of your time. Right. And just try and sprint all the way to the next like shortcut that you're bound to find. But yeah, that's Below. I'm even though I've talked a lot about how I think the end game is kind of rough, I really like the game. It's phenomenally made, obviously made with a ton of care. Incredibly polished. Although I've had like a few crashes, which were strange. I haven't had like a game crash on me in years, but God, man, this game looks beautiful and feels amazing. Also, soundtracks by Jim Guthrie, the guy who did Sword and Sorcery.
Oh, cool.
So the soundtrack's amazing.
Neat.
It's so good. But yeah, I've been playing a bit of that over like the past week or so. It's like just came out.
Sounds interesting. Yeah, like I caught wind of the game, but I haven't actually looked up any videos or anything about it.
Yeah, I'd recommend not looking up too much about it because there's a bunch of like, it totally nails the feeling of going deeper into a dungeon, like and discovering things that actually feel like discoveries. Like once you see where the dungeon goes, it's really interesting and fun and like kind of terrifying. And it does it all wordlessly too. It kind of nails the environmental storytelling thing.
Yeah, that immediately has me interested because, yeah, as soon as you said Blighttown, a lot of people don't like Blighttown because it can feel like a bit of a slog to get through.
Yeah,
there's a lot of places where it's easy to mess up in Blighttown, and also the performance used to be terrible. But I liked Blighttown a lot just for like that feeling of descending deeper.
Yeah.
Just the general feel of Blighttown was, I thought, cool and interesting. And we talked about this on the last episode, but I also like and this doesn't just apply to video games, but really any medium, especially video games like that deal with that idea of going deeper into something. This like constant descending. So I immediately like I'm curious and I'm probably gonna go check that out.
Yeah, it does a similar stylistic thing that like Spec Ops: The Line did, where Spec Ops: The Line you're like constantly going down no matter what level you're doing, which is like a really interesting stylistic choice. Below does a similar thing, but instead you're almost constantly going from the top of the screen to the bottom of the screen. It's like a really nice way of like translating that to a 2D game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
It's something that I liked about Subnautica as well. That's actually I was streaming some of it last weekend. Just doing like I don't know, like they're putting out some DLC for it
and it was just free on the Epic Store, right? Or something?
Yeah. It was that plus I think they're planning to put out DLC next year, as far as I know.
The Ice World thing.
Yeah, the Arctic. Yeah. And so I was like, yeah, let's go back and like replay some Subnautica, but I'll do a permadeath run. I'm doing a permadeath run, but I'm also making a challenge run where I have to scan every creature in the game. So it's permadeath, but I have to put myself in harm's way, which should be interesting.
Can you scan a dead creature?
No, it has to be alive. Which I mean is fine because the most dangerous creatures in the game are hard to kill anyway. Okay. So it's not like it would really make it easier to do that.
Right, and Subnautica's like mainly downplays combat, right?
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. Like you can technically kill everything in the game, but the game it gives you a
video game.
Technically,
it gives you like you basically have no weapons, and the game is designed in such a way where it seems like you weren't ever intended to combat some of these bigger threats in the game. You use the survival knife for collecting some resources and for killing small fish to eat. You can use it against big fish, but the game really does not expect you to.
Right.
Which is why the game gives those creatures a massive pool of health and makes your knife almost useless against them. Anyway, so that's been fun, and that's Subnautica. Another thing it does well is both to move further up the tech tree in that game and also to progress the story. You are forced to go deeper and deeper into this dangerous ocean, which was something I liked as well. Because, if you were looking at the story from the perspective of, okay, what if I was stranded on this island or on this ocean planet? I would just stay like near the surface in the safe shallows. And why would I go deeper where the dangerous fish are? And the game's answer to that is, this is only a minor spoiler because this happens fairly early in the game, but your character is infected by this foreign bacteria that lives on this ocean planet.
Right.
And the only way to there's no known cure for it, but there was research done by some survivors who were previously on this planet. And basically the way that you have to dig up more about this possible cure and the way that you progress without giving too much away is you have to go deeper into the ocean
Wait,
to find
can
it.
you like die from the infection?
No.
Garbage.
Yeah, I thought that though, because it like kind of progresses in stages, and each stage of your infection is kind of introduced with like this short cutscene of your symptoms getting worse. But yeah, it's really.
Damn, that makes me sad. It just reminds me of like Far Cry 2 when you had malaria. And I was like, it's so fucking good. I love that. I'm like, sweet, another game did malaria, and they didn't, and I'm sad.
I actually picked up Far Cry 2 for like $5
great
not
game.
too long ago.
It's a great game. You should stream that. That's a great game to stream. Honestly, it's phenomenal. You're gonna hate it. It's gonna be so much fun.
Yeah, it seems like an interesting game to stream because it's
so good.
It looks like a game. Like I love the. I mean, like every single game design course that you take that talks about diegetic design. Always references Far Cry 2 with the compass and the map.
That's not even the best parts of it, honestly. Like Far Cry,
that stuff always seemed interesting.
Oh, absolutely.
To me, at least.
I mean, Far Cry does a bunch of things that games didn't do and still don't do, right? Like it's just like they were like, okay, fast travel system. All right, what's it going to be like? Well, we're in a third world country, and they're like, all right, how about just their bad bus system? And it's like, yeah, that sounds great. Let's make the fucking fast travel system a really badly supported bus network. And it's like fucking great. It's just that game like really nails the feeling of just being in a place that it
sucks.
Yeah, it's like your person doesn't want to be there. You have malaria. Everybody's trying to kill you. It sucks. Everything's on fire and like
it sounds rad.
Everyone is like a robot that can shoot you in the head from a mile away.
Download this game now.
It's so good. Fuck, it's hilarious. I love it. But like and the thing is that it does some things that there's a podcast I really love called Idle Thumbs, which has a bunch of the people from Campo Santo, the guys who made Firewatch.
It's a good podcast.
On it. It's a great podcast.
They back you up on that.
They wax poetic about Far Cry for hours and hours and hours. They love Far Cry 2 so much. But there was one thing that they brought up when Breath of the Wild came out that I loved, and they're like, a thing that happens in Far Cry 2 is like grenades are affected by physics. This is something that like wasn't really in games very often before, at least not to the extent that Far Cry was, in that you threw a grenade and it would roll down a hill, and almost always you throw a grenade up a hill and it would roll down the hill back to you and you'd get killed by your own grenade. And they're like, and in Breath of the Wild, they're like, they have a little bit of Far Cry 2 here because you can choose between cube or circle bombs, right? Knowing that the circle bomb will ruin you. Right. Oh, man.
Smart.
That's good. I don't even think Arma does that, to be honest. Well, I haven't played a ton of Arma, but from what I played, whenever I threw a grenade, it would generally go the place where I threw it, even if I was on a hill.
Well, yeah, and like games like Halo and other games with grenades usually made their grenades really sticky. Like even if they would say like regular grenades in Halo would bounce, like if they went up a hill, they would usually like just sit on the hill and wouldn't bounce a lot.
They would have enough momentum that they wouldn't roll back down.
But in Far Cry, it's just like they're just covered in grease.
Well,
It's
don't
fucking
the
hilarious.
Halo grenades stick to
So there's two types
enemies
of grenades
as well?
in Halo. So like the sticky grenades, they just stick. But there's the regular grenades and they bounce and roll and stuff.
Okay.
But they don't roll as much as in Far Cry, or at least Far Cry 2. Because that was the kind of disappointing thing about Far Cry 3 and every Far Cry since. Was it kind of the game moved away from being this like personal hell for the player into a personal playground for the player, right? Where they're like, you have a wingsuit now or whatever, like a hang glider, or like, and you can capture the world.
Moving away from the Bennett Foddy School of Game Design.
Yeah, well, that's another reason I love Bennett Foddy's games. But and Far Cry is just like not really any spoiler. The story is just dismal. It's like the most depressing story ever, and it just is awful.
Man, you're really selling this game to me.
It's so good. Fuck. And it culminates in like a final mission that's like really, really excellent. And it has like a weird companion system in it that like kind of works, but also perfectly encapsulates what it's like to have like bounty hunter companions in a war-torn country where everyone's a contractor. Like a lot of them will just leave you for dead and don't give a shit about you, and they can just die and then they disappear forever.
That's interesting.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So are we just going to become the Idle Thumbs podcast? We're now every episode from here on out we
reference Far Cry 2.
We reference Far Cry 2.
No. Instead, we reference Halo and being never a better time to be a gamer.
No.
Yeah, and Sandy hating video games.
Hey.
That's why I put the Venn diagram up.
Exactly. Art and garbage.
Art and garbage, and video games are between the two.
Oh, and that Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is an indie game.
Yeah. Well, so is MGS5, and
So
it's
is MGS5,
my favorite indie game now.
It's a great indie game.
New favorite.
New
Good
favorite.
game. Did you play any? Have you gotten a chance to play more now that the semester's done?
Here's what I did. I did not progress more in the story. I just played the missions I'd already done, which is like the first two. Because I just want to, like, because I've been so used to playing Hitman, I'm like, let me just fucking get this map in the back of my hand and just go for it, you know? So like I was at like a C before because I fucked around so much. But then like after not playing it for months, I came back in, I did the first mission, and like the first run I got an S.
Nice.
Right? So I was like, I got in, killed the guy, got out. That's all I did. And no alerts, no anything. Full stealth, obviously. Go at night, NVG, with the sound that Splinter Cell also had. God, I miss Splinter Cell. Make another one, please.
I think they made one that was bad.
They made Blacklist around the same time as MGS5, but it was obviously not as good as MGS5. But now that Metal Gear is not a thing,
I mean, there's that zombie game.
now that Metal Gear Solid is not a thing,
I mean,
My point
there's
still
that zombie
stands.
game.
that's Metal Gear Survive.
Fair.
I don't care about
And
Metal
hey,
Gear
Smash
Survive
Brothers.
or Revengeance.
That's true. Snake
got
is in
Snake in
Smash
that,
Brothers.
Yeah, but if I were to play Smash Brothers, which I don't, and I actually don't know how to play Smash Brothers, I would pick Simon Belmont if anyone.
Dude, yeah, he's
As my
He's
main.
fun. He's
Yeah.
fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fun. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm maining Pac-Man,
Oh, okay.
which is hilarious. People online really don't like it when they lose to Pac-Man, which never happens. Because I'm very bad at Smash Brothers.
My favorite part about Simon is that you can whip diagonally like you could in Super Castlevania.
Right.
Which I really appreciate.
Yeah, and his axe is bullshit.
Oh, it's great.
Fucking
oh, it's so
bullshit.
good.
Fucking thing. Anyways, welcome to Smashcast.
Smash is the game
Ultimate.
that everyone is talking about.
The gang's all here. Pac-Man forever. I'm gonna throw melons at you all day. Who do you main, Matt?
I've been kind of going back and forth between Simon/Richter and been playing a little bit of Captain Falcon. Captain Falcon used to be my go-to.
What's your color?
in Melee. My color? I don't know. I don't really bother unless it's
Fucking useless.
unless it's one of the characters that the color actually changes
the model.
and more of their appearance. Then I'm like, yeah, let's do
Dude,
some of
pink
this.
Captain Falcon all the way. He looks fabulous.
That's
It's
true.
amazing.
That
It's
is
actually
that is a good skin. You're right.
Can you Vogue in Smash Brothers?
You kind of can. And
think you can.
especially Captain Falcon.
Yeah, you're right.
Captain Falcon has basically Vogue moves.
Yeah.
Or King
Man.
DDD has like his lay down looking sexy.
Oh,
And actually, you know what? Bayonetta
That's
kind of
good.
vogues as well.
I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's a given.
Yeah, like her crouch is basically like a lounging, sexy pose.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. She's also one where if the changing the color changes her model as well, which is cool.
Does she become like short hair
Yeah,
Bayonetta?
short
Right.
hair and long hair Bayonetta, and she
Right.
puts on like completely different outfits. It's really, really well done. I love all the detail they put into the game.
I love-
Although Pac-Man, bullshit, his color doesn't change. He just changed the color of his boots. Fucking garbage. I want
yeah.
it to be a blue or an orange Pac-Man.
He's the
I just-
iconic yellow.
Yeah.
bro.
Garbage. I'm so-
Capcom was explicit.
Fuck
about
Capcom,
you can
man.
Only our character can only be yellow. These are his brand colors.
And he only has like one color that's like not just a straight color on his boots. It's like a fucking plaid. And I'm like, fuck this shit, man. Garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Although Ridley is, you can be like a yellow Ridley and it's awesome. I love that.
I was gonna say I love all the detail they put into. God, this is real precarious.
Here, I'll just hold it.
Oh yeah, that's definitely not going to cause more noise.
No. Go ahead.
Matt smiled and shook his head very
I'm
stoically.
dying on the inside right now.
It's not gonna make noise. Like, listen to it.
Yeah, because you're not moving.
I won't
He's
move.
never going to move. He's never going to move again.
Just stoically pose like that.
Yeah.
Whereas, Matt, you were saying something about the detail that you like in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but now I
was.
don't like it anymore.
Man, if we're gonna keep recording these, I need to change this setup. Like, I need to make it.
What
so
you
there's
need to do-
less of this happening.
What you need to
We should
do
get,
is
like,
not
several
break the
boom
shit I
mics.
give you.
What?
What you need to do is not break the shit I give you.
It broke itself.
Yeah, just like the budget balance itself. Thanks, Justin Trudeau.
You know that episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob is making these beautiful marble sculptures at one point. He just taps it once and the whole thing breaks apart.
Yeah, except this is not a beautiful sculpture.
Oh,
you're Squidward. I'm sorry, you're Squidward. Squidward breaks the sculpture.
I tapped it. This metal bit that was supposed to secure the mic to the stand.
Speaking of bit, I've had enough of this one. Let's go back to Smash Talk.
It's not a bit.
It's a
real
bit.
Talk. That was real talk.
Well,
I tapped it and
See
it
my
was
friends
destroyed.
tearing each other apart over a mic stand.
Cheap
Just
quality
cheap.
mic stand.
Excuse me?
Cheap quality mic stand.
Do you want to fucking go?
Audio fight.
Yeah.
As I was saying, Smash. I love all the detail they put into, and Smash has kind of always been like this, but especially with some of the new characters. King K. Rool is the first one that comes to mind. The detail they put into the character animations and movesets.
Yeah.
So good. Especially King K. Rool's moveset, how every single one of his special Bs is lifted from one of the Donkey Kong Country games.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, and King K. Rool is just like an excellent new character. I love it. And there's
He's
a bunch
a lot
of
of fun.
There's a bunch of like weird little things with it. Like I found out if you pocket his crown with like Isabelle, it's just gone. He just never gets it back unless you throw it back at him using her pocket ability again, which is amazing.
That's funny.
I love that. Yeah, like and also Isabel's great. I think Isabel's an awesome,
she's a fun character
super
as well.
fun character.
Yeah. Their fishing rod's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I found that like the World of Lights, like I'm super not into it, which was surprising to me. I thought I'd be into their single player mode, but I've just been playing classic mode. Like if I want to play single player.
Yeah, I haven't had a lot of time to like. I've played a bit of Smash, but it's mostly just been multiplayer with friends. I haven't had much time to delve into the spirits mode, but I've heard really good things about it. So.
Yeah, I people are saying good things about it. I couldn't really get into it. Although I've been playing with my girlfriend a lot, and I found out that my girlfriend's like way better at Smash than me. So I'm just like getting my ass handed to me by my girlfriend constantly, and it sucks. Like I get better at Pac-Man.
So are y'all playing with the Pro controller or the GameCube controller?
I'm actually playing with the Pro controller because I bought one for Switch. And yeah, fuck, the Joy-Cons suck for it. Actually,
Yeah.
I was surprised
That's
at
what I
how
thought.
bad they are.
I've been okay with them. They're not as good as the GameCube controller, obviously, but I've tolerated them.
I can't
think
even-
They're fine.
I can't even play Super Mario Odyssey with the Joy-Cons.
Just like the two together, normal.
No, I can't. It's too small.
Yeah, they're pretty small.
I can't get used to it at all.
Big, stupid 10-pound hands.
I think they're fine.
I mean,
We're talking like in the grip, like
Yeah.
Even in the grip.
Even in the
like,
grip.
Yeah. For Smash Bros. Specifically, it constantly misreads my inputs. Like and it sucks. And I sound like a Smash crazy person. I was like, I was trying to do my N air, but it did a forward air, and now I'm dead, and it's the controller's fault.
Yeah.
But it never happens with the Pro controller. It happens all the time with the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, I'll pick up a Pro controller at some point just because I've wanted one anyway.
They're nice. It's a really nice controller. Honestly,
Yeah.
The face buttons are a bit too big, but it's a minor.
it's the Xbox layout, right?
Yeah, it's the Xbox layout.
With the Joy-Con.
Yeah, but the buttons
joystick.
are just like gigantic.
Oh, okay.
They're just huge, dumbass buttons, which is hilarious.
We can lay it down on a table and use it as a fight stick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh,
It's
that's
basically the
true.
Xbox adaptive controller, but just on a single gamepad.
But not accessible.
Yeah, not accessible.
It's
big.
half accessible, which is like, what is it doing, really?
Yeah, it's not appealing to either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuck in this awkward position in the middle.
Yeah.
But man, its charge lasts so long. I didn't play Switch for like 4 months, and it was still charged when I picked it back up.
Yeah,
It's great.
that's the one good thing about Nintendo consoles.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Also love that it's somewhat it's like translucent.
Yeah,
Love it. Bring it back.
bring it back.
Bring it back. It's
I want to
so
see all those
nice.
circuit boards, please.
Sony put out a anniversary edition of the PS4
Yeah, yeah.
that kind of had that as well. It looked.
I think it was blue
subtle.
translucent.
I think
Yeah,
it was,
it looked kind of all right. The only thing that kind of sucked about it is like you couldn't see a whole lot on the top, and then the bottom was just mainly like instead of seeing a bunch of circuitry, you just saw like the hard drive, and like it was mostly just a solid
Yeah.
piece of equipment underneath.
Yeah, it's not like a hand-wired amplifier that Marshall makes or something. you know?
Yeah, yeah. Or even like, the Game Boy, the translucent
Yeah.
Game Boy. It's like
With like actual transistors in it. And
yeah,
stuff
there were
like
some
that.
interesting things to see in there.
I just realized Nintendo's definitely going to release like a Game Boy Classic. I bet. It's just
So
like a
the
little-
Game Boy.
Yeah,
gonna
but
re-release
it's gonna
the
be
Game
it's
Boy.
gonna be a Game Boy, but with like 25 of the Game Boy's best games on it,
And it
then-
won't take cartridges. For
Yeah,
some
it won't
reason.
take. Of course
Yeah.
not. You fucking crazy person. You fucking didn't say anything.
sounds
else.
Sorry, I'm
garbage.
just learning my ropes around business thinking. It's hard.
That's probably
It's hard being a
what we
dick.
do. Yeah.
Yeah,
I still have my Game Boy, so why would I?
I found it
buy a
when I
console?
moved, and yeah, it still works. I played this weird game called was it Iron Bowl? It's like a crappy battle tanks. It's great. I played it. It has a bitchin' soundtrack. It's great. Also found a game I had called Warlock, and it was like an RTS on the Game Boy Color, and it sucked. It was just terrible. It was like controlling an RTS. And when you first started up the game, there was like this modified voice that would say like Warlock.
Yes.
Oh no, it was Warlocked. Like you were warlocked, but it's like you're locked in war. Get it?
Oh,
That's what I wanted to hear.
Oh god. And it had a translucent cartridge, which is phenomenal. Very, very good.
That's good. I had WarioWare Twisted for the
fuck.
Game Boy, and that was a fun game.
I've never played a WarioWare game, and I feel like I'm missing
Oh,
out.
they're so good.
And I technically I played the WarioWare stage in Smash Brothers, which is pretty much a WarioWare game because it's got so many
with
little mini
like
games.
5 micro games
Yeah.
in it.
It's
And
enough-
then
it's enough
there's
for
the
me.
weird one that they added. I guess they added it in Smash 4, which I didn't own, but the one that's just called Gamer, where you're on a table and
Wait,
like,
what?
Yeah, like have you not played this stage?
No, wait, what?
So it's one of those stages where everybody's miniature and you're on this table in somebody's living room with a bunch of like
Oh, and your mom
toy
comes
blocks.
in and yells at you, right? Yeah.
This WarioWare looking mother presumably keeps walking into the room, and like her beams of light come from her eyes and will hit like a specific section of the surface of the table, and you have to not be in that section, otherwise she freaks out and you get stunned and take
That
damage.
has to be part of some weird game.
Yeah, like it's.
Something like
I
that.
assume it's from WarioWare, but not from any WarioWare game that I've played. So
Oh, and also speaking of Game Boy, minor spoilers for people who are listening to the podcast. There's a huge leak about the new Smash Bros. Characters coming out.
Oh, really?
That seems pretty legit. And one of the characters leaked, which I really hope it's true, is Isaac from Golden Sun.
Oh.
Which is cool as shit because I love that game on Game Boy Advance.
I never played it,
It was a
but
great RPG. Well, I mean, it was just an RPG on the Game Boy Advance that like wasn't terrible.
I've heard of it.
And
Yeah.
it was pretty much like a new generation's Final Fantasy like 3 or whatever.
Okay.
But it'll be cool if he's in the game because there's like a mechanic in Golden Sun where you instead of like materia like Final Fantasy had where you had like these orbs that you could give yourself different abilities with, they had like genies or djinns without the eye. And you had like 4 elemental djinns, and you could then equip onto each character a different subset of djinns, and that would change their job. So if you equipped like all earth djinns, you would be like a fighter. If you equipped all fire djinns, you'd be like a fire mage, and all this. And if you equipped all like water, you'd be a healer. But then you could do like 2, and 2, and you could do all these crazy combinations. And if they bring that to Smash, I'll be stoked.
That'd be cool.
It'll be really
Yeah.
cool to have like. I don't know. I look at like Shulk. Shulk's able to like change his like focus or whatever
Yeah.
in the game. If they can do something like that with Isaac, I'm on board.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, especially with how they're still able to make unique fighters after having a roster of 74.
Yeah,
It's
that is pretty
insane.
crazy.
Like,
And I think a lot of it, like, again, comes back to animation and moveset, because a lot of characters, like, share, like moves or abilities that fulfill a very similar
Similar, yeah.
role or do a very similar thing, but they're just, the presentation is so different across the board, and they're all, like, just different enough. I
yeah,
guess.
and there's definitely a bunch of game feel stuff there as well, right? Like the feel of the weight and speed of a character are like huge parts of their identity.
Yeah.
Right. Like especially, and I think the animations play into this a lot, especially if you look at like King K. Rool with his sprint when he goes all down on all fours.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
combining that with his charging attack that gives him like super armor. Like playing King K. Rool is so much different than any other character because of just these little things that are part of the character's abilities. Right. And like Pac-Man's side, like because I'm playing Pac-Man a lot, Pac-Man's like side special, he like shoots out a dot and then like chases it. which is like a lot of side specials where you just kind of go sideways. But his one has special interactions, like an opponent can parry the dot and then eat it themselves and gain health back.
I did not know
and it
that.
cancels his side B, right?
That's really
it's
cool.
crazy. There's like
Wow.
a bunch of little things that make the game and also if you shoot it out and it and you're falling while it's happening, it'll actually angle and then he'll go up, and if you hit the side of the stage, you'll actually pop up and be able to like gain some air and hit someone who's above you. That's so cool. Like there's so much little, and that's just in Pac-Man, and he's not a like super techie character, right?
I might have to play Pac-Man.
Yeah, he's super fun. I've decided to start playing him just because I played him a few games and this guy's a fucking blast. Also, he creates fire hydrants, which is so much fun. Just hitting fire hydrants all day long, super fun.
Also, that Pac-Man stage is hilarious.
Yes, the Pac-Man stage is
side-scrolling
also
one.
fucking great.
Can we just play Smash after this? Do you want
I'm
to
down
play
with playing a few
couple
games of
rounds?
Smash. Do you have enough controllers, or do you only have the
Sadly,
one?
only have 2 sets of Joy-Cons. So we
Two
need the
sets of
tiny
Joy-Cons?
ones.
So you have like the full,
2 Joy-Cons.
or just two?
So
Joy-Cons?
only 2 of us would be able to play with a full controller at a time.
Or we could play all 3 of us with a side controller.
Yeah, is what I'm saying. Which
Sweet.
would not. Which would.
I'm on board with
suck, but
that.
we
I
could
did
do
that with Moloch and Moloch.
Thank you.
I think I know who you're talking about.
And they both kicked my ass.
Okay, I
they're-
think I do know the ones you're talking about.
I almost said their names, and I was like, no, it's always Moloch. Oh man.
I mean, if you want, you could. Actually, don't. And then I have to edit more things. I was gonna say them, and then I'll cover them with Moloch.
Oh, also,
No, you already
we already talked about this, not on the podcast, but outside in real life. Like Tetris Effect came out. It's still real good. I play it occasionally.
Looks
it's
really
real
cool.
fun. Also, Artifact came out. The new card game from Valve.
Oh right.
Yeah, and I bought that.
Is it good?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a great card game. Fucking weird meta game. Because Artifact, they were like, hey, Magic the Gathering, that's a cool game. Hearthstone, fuck that game. Let's make it so that you can't earn cards for free. The game will not be free to play. You have to pay money to get more cards in the game, and you can sell all the cards that you get for real money, or at least Steam money. So kind of like half real money,
Okay.
right? So I was like, fuck, that sounds weird as shit. And of course, gamers backlashed hard. They're like, this game's pay to win. And they got real mad. I paid the $20 entrance fee, which gets you 10 packs and some 2 starter decks. I unpacked a card that was worth $25. I sold it immediately. I sold it immediately, and then I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I got $5 profit from this game.
And then you didn't play the game.
No, and then I played draft. There's a mode in the game where you just draft cards and make a deck and then play that deck as many times as you can before losing twice. And if you win enough times, you actually get a pack for quote unquote free, right? And I just played draft over and over and like played it a bunch on launch week when people didn't know how the game was played. And like won a few extra packs. Every single time I won a pack, I sold every card in the pack. Just every single card would make like $4 or $5 every pack, and I just like made a profit in that game, and then used that money to buy Below.
To buy a different game.
Yeah. But the game, like Artifact, I'm not going to get into it because it's really complicated. But Artifact's a fucking great card game. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of cards in it right now because it just came out. But you play 3 card games at once. It's like playing Dota, but it's a card game. It's just as stressful. It's actually
because it's based on Dota.
yeah, it's based on Dota, and they were like, okay, let's actually take the entire complexity of Dota and try and turn it into a card game. So I'm just going to list off how Artifact works really fast, and you'll see how complicated it is. You play 3 games at the same time, 1 for each lane. Each lane gets a hero. Each hero can be 1 of 4 colors. You can only cast the color of spell that your hero in the lane is. Heroes are persistent. If they die, they come back in a later turn at full health, and you can reposition them to whatever lane you want. Heroes can also be upgraded by modification, which is actually modifying their stats, or with items, which you buy in a shop at the end of each turn. Gold is gained through killing enemy heroes and enemy creeps. Creeps are worth 1 gold. Heroes are worth 5. There are also the shop. The shop has 3 items in it. Each slot does a different thing. One's the secret shop, one's your deck of items that you brought on, and one is the consumable slot. They're randomized every turn. You can spend gold on any ones that you want. Those cards don't cost anything to play, but can only be cast on heroes or creeps if they're consumable. Heroes can also have activated abilities or activated items. Activated abilities and items also have cooldowns, and they can only be targeted either on your own lane or on other lanes. Certain cards can be used only in the lane that you're on, but also can be cast to other lanes. Improvements are a thing that could be put onto lanes that aren't creeps or heroes, but do something in the lane that you can either activate on a cooldown or happen every turn on one of the phases. Every turn has several phases that you have to go through, including an upkeep, a damage, and a playing phase. This happens 3 times until you go to the shop phase at the end of the turn, and then there's a deployment phase before the entire turn begins. This is like 1/4 of the rules of Artifact.
Can you cut the gaps out in between that? If there were any. I don't know if there were.
Logan explaining Artifact, but it's every other
This
second.
isn't even touching like pierce damage, siege, all of the fucking keywords for cards. Like all of this shit. Oh, and also like initiative and like all this other shit that's in the game. It is by far the most complicated card game I have ever played, and it's bonkers fun.
That's really cool.
So
I'm
dumb.
never gonna play it.
Yeah, no, it's oh god, yeah. I don't recommend it, but as like someone who loves Magic the Gathering and like
don't
really
recommend it.
and really likes stupidly complex game systems, especially one that's as balanced as this game is actually. It has this like wonderful way of making almost every game come down to the last turn. Like I mean, that's a dumb thing to say, but it really feels like if the player who won didn't do a very specific thing on the final turn, they were going to lose either the next lane or the next full turn, right? Like every game feels incredibly close, which is a masterclass in game design. It's not a masterclass in game simplicity. They really fucked it up on that bit. But it's designed by Richard Garfield, the guy who originally made Magic the Gathering. So he likes making
That
complicated
explains
card
a
games.
lot.
Yeah.
That explains so much. You could have just opened with that.
I know.
Yeah, I have zero interest in this game. And I've never been interested in Dota, but it is, I do really appreciate and think it's really cool that they were able to basically translate all those mechanics and systems.
Also, if you wanted to play
into
it,
a card game.
get into it now because it's fucking dying fast.
That's kind of a shame.
It had like 60,000 players when it first started, and now 2 weeks later, it's down to under 10,000.
Good lord.
Yeah, it's insane how quickly the community, 1, turned against it, and then 2, just dropped it.
Wow.
just went, fuck this, back to Dota.
Valve made a game, and this is what happened.
Back
is
to
what happened.
Dota Ultimate or whatever it was called.
Smash Bros. Ultimate?
No, the one on the phone?
There was one on the phone?
No, that was Diablo. What
Diablo,
the fuck am I
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
of?
That's Diablo Eternal.
Oh,
Eternal.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that the one that everybody threw a hissy fit
Dude, fuck
about?
that.
Yeah.
Do
you guys not have phones?
I don't have games on my
That's
phone.
what the guy said on the stage.
I'm mad at the reaction to that. Like I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, they're gonna make a phone game.
Wait, is that what he said?
Yeah,
he did, yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
everyone
meme now.
booed him on the stage, and he was like, "Do you guys not have phones?" And everyone
Good
booed
lord.
him
Did not
even
help.
harder.
Yeah, they did not handle
Wow.
it well, honestly. But I mean, look at like, granted, I think they could have handled it better. Like I look at Bethesda, and they were like, guys, we're making a phone game. It's like it's a phone Elder Scrolls, and everyone's like, all right, it's a phone Elder Scrolls. I was like, fuck yeah, phone Elder Scrolls. but everyone's like, all right. And then like right after it, they were like, by the way, Starfield and also Elder Scrolls 6, right? They were like, don't worry, we're working on these things.
Don't worry. We're working on Elder Scrolls 6. Here's a field.
Here's a field, and I just watched that trailer 80 times and didn't eat for a week because I had to watch that trailer. Like that was just so good. I
couldn't
watched
watch
the
and eat at the
20-minute
same
theory
time?
video on that fucking
On this
teaser.
field.
Did the thumbnail have a red circle with a big arrow pointing to the red circle?
Yes, it did. Yes,
Nothing in
because it was
particular.
pointing at the castle that was on the field.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
like this is High Rock. We've talked about this before. Again, we're rehashing content. from
Yeah.
previous
Yeah.
episodes.
Well, it's the end of the year. We're capping.
yeah, this is the
things
recap
off.
episode.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Speaking of Bethesda, though, what about that 76?
I didn't
Boy, it
buy
looks
it.
bad. You
It
know what I'm
looks
very
okay.
excited about though? Mandalore Gaming. Mandalore Gaming, Creel. I don't expect you to know who these people are.
I know Mandalore.
Who's Mandalore? I don't know
Mandalore.
Mandalore.
He is a maker of YouTube videos. He usually covers older games, and he's really good. He's a great mixture of informative and really genuinely funny. Anyway, Mandalore. This other guy named Creel who's pretty funny as well, and Joseph Anderson. The three of them, I think, are making a video on Fallout 76
Okay.
Together? Wow.
which I'm super excited about.
I don't know. I
It's-
think Fallout 76 is like a weird game. I think it's getting a lot of backlash because people like to give backlash to Bethesda games.
To be
But, like,
fair, though, I don't think any of that backlash is without warrant. that game looks rough.
It does. I mean, I think it's a bunch of. I think it's that. I don't know. I feel for Bethesda, or at least the developers behind Bethesda, where like they're like, we are gonna make a multiplayer, like, open world game in our style, right? And I think it proved to be as difficult as that would seem to be.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd say that the backlash that I'm seeing on this means that they're never going to try this again. Right. Like it's the same thing that happened with like, this isn't the same. Never mind. The comparison I was going to make wasn't fair.
If they ever do, it's A, going to be a long time from now, and it's B, they're going to take a very different approach to marketing.
Yeah. But it's like unfortunate because I think that like a multiplayer version of their type of game could be really cool.
Yeah.
But because this first attempt really didn't pan out well and people are really hammering them for it, it's just unfortunate for me as like a fan of their games. Like I haven't been a fan of Fallout 4 or really much of their recent stuff, but I still believe that they'll release a game that I like as much as I liked like Oblivion and Morrowind, right? And I like Skyrim a lot, but like it's not on the same wavelength.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I've been waiting for Bethesda to put out a game that is on the level of a Skyrim, or I know they didn't.
Although I'm looking at like Obsidian now is probably going to fill that gap, like with their Outlands.
Outer Worlds.
Yeah. Oh, that looks so good.
That looks like a cool game. Unfortunately, it looks like it's
that.
going to be like an Xbox exclusive, probably because they just got bought by Microsoft. So it'll be on PC, but my PC is never going to be able to run that fucking game, which makes me sad.
It looks really.
But yeah, it looks
really
excellent,
cool,
and I think I'm probably going to have to start looking to Obsidian's game. Well, I mean, I've already been looking to Obsidian's games for that type of experience.
Some people were looking at the trailer for that and kind of saying they were getting like Rick and Morty vibes from it. I was getting Douglas Adams.
Yeah, definitely a lot of Douglas Adams.
Yeah.
A lot of Douglas
into
Adams mixed with like almost BioShock. It feels like or something like that.
It'd be a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much it's Fallout-esque. Like it's very, very Fallout-esque, but more spacey instead of apocalyptic.
Apocalyptic.
Yeah, but I look at New Vegas, which is my favorite 3D Fallout game, and I'm like, the dialogue in the gameplay that they've shown is so much like New Vegas, and I love that.
That's a good sign.
So I think Obsidian's probably going to do a great job with it. Plus, I love the Pillars of Eternity games, and they always knock it out of the park with those.
I hope they kill it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty certain they will.
Yeah. Another thing I'm super intrigued by now that you have brought up Obsidian is that I believe one of the head writers who worked on New Vegas is now working on the new Dying Light game.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
I think he's... I can't remember exactly who, but yeah, they had mentioned they had some folks from Obsidian working on the story.
That's cool, because I've heard really good things about the Dying Light games, and you've talked about it before.
A little bit. It's Dying Light is unfortunately one of those games where I started playing, got a couple hours in, was like, this game's really cool, I'm enjoying this so far, and then haven't gone back to.
Yeah. I think that's most
I
huge
haven't had
games
time.
nowadays, right? It's just they're giant, and I don't have time to play them.
Yeah, I liked what I played though. I really liked the unique twist they kind of put on because when that game came out, I think I didn't give it enough credit. I was like, this looks like another
Zombie.
It was around
Dead
the time.
Island, and that wasn't a good game.
Exactly. It came out around the time that all those other survival zombie games were coming out, so I was like, oh, it's another one of those. But really, what they do with like the parkour and the day and night system and things like that, the things around the zombie setting are really cool and are really fun and have a lot more nuance than I expected. So I'll get back to that game eventually, he says, but maybe he won't because, God, there's way too many games.
Yeah, over the past, like, that game Gris came out. Seems really good.
That seems cool, yeah. The art style looks gorgeous.
Yeah. And people are saying it's a lot like Journey in like, how it's presented and how it plays, which sounds really
Also,
cool.
Journey's coming to PC.
Yeah! I won't buy it, but all right.
I'm excited because I never played
You
Journey.
never played it? Oh,
I
you're
never
gonna love
played
it. It's a
Journey.
great game.
I've heard all these amazing things about Journey, and now I get to finally experience it for myself.
Excellent.
It's really good.
It's excellent.
Yeah.
It's super.
I've never played it, but it's really good.
God.
Dude, you should play it on your big fucking screen.
No.
It'd be fucking great.
It would look
It'd be
gorgeous.
super fun.
Yeah.
Do it in a desert, talking to other dudes in the desert. I'm all
You don't
set.
talk, you're singing.
Well, they're talking.
I mean, it's
through the power of music.
the great thing about the game is you can ignore all those people. And
I did like Flower though.
Well, then you'll love Journey. There's like
No,
the same fucking.
I don't want to be a dude. I want to be a pedal.
Fair.
See,
I mean, you kind of are a pedal in Journey as well.
you always get me, Logan.
I know.
Tired of this. I want never have the upper hand with you. I want the flower from Flower in Smash Brothers. How about we
That'd
get
be
that?
so good.
That'd be good. Or
Fuck.
yeah,
That'd be so good.
Yeah, I mean they announced Joker from Persona.
Yeah.
which I'm one of the people who's very excited about.
So
Yeah,
and
I
then
like the
they
Persona
did
games.
also announce at the Game Awards Ultimate Alliance for Switch, exclusively for Switch,
Oh, really?
a new Ultimate Alliance game.
Wait, that's that like hack and slash.
Marvel Ultimate Alliance,
Oh right, yeah.
which is like
It's like Diablo, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like
top
Diablo.
down. Yeah.
and it's like way more MCU focused, so it's fucking Thanos again. I don't care about Thanos anymore.
Is Thanos the only bad guy in that entire game?
No, that's the thing. MODOK, Galactus. There's so many good ones.
Moloch?
Yeah, I heard Moloch.
MODOK.
MODOK.
He's a short but fat guy who's mostly face, who's very technological. He's like Brainiac from DC. Anyways, I'm a nerd, so anyways,
That
given
guy did not sound threatening at all.
No, he's like-
short, fat face.
short fat no,
what he said.
he looks hilarious.
Short, fat face. He's technological.
His alter ego.
Bro.
He's a short, fat faced IT guy.
He looks
Fuck
hilarious.
is
You need to look up a picture of MODOK after we're done with this.
okay.
You can look it up right now.
Okay, I'll
Oh,
like,
actually, okay. No, continue. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, mine's not related. I'll recommend it later. Don't worry.
So what I was gonna say is like with the announcement of Joker and everything and Ultimate Alliance coming to Switch, what's the next character they put?
Let me see.
Good lord.
Oh, I know this guy.
Right?
I've seen this guy before.
He's hilarious. And Galactus is another one.
I vaguely
I know
recognize him.
Galactus.
Galactus is great.
He's the planet eater, right? Or
Yeah, yeah.
That's scary.
yeah.
This guy's a fucking gremlin.
This guy's a dope.
this guy-
Is he a
looks
big
terrifying.
bad? He's like a big bad.
He's
in the
pretty
universe?
big bad.
Fucking garbage.
Another big bad is Fing Fang Foom, which is a dragon.
Oh, that's good. I'm into that. Now.
Yeah. And he talks.
Well, yeah, he's a dragon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny you said he's mostly face, and I just thought, oh, he's really fat. Like he's got like
No, it's literally mostly face.
literally mostly
That's
face.
adorable. When he said mostly face, I was like, I bet he's just the big
And he's on a
face.
floating chair. Like he doesn't walk. He
Of
floats
course,
around.
right. I mean, look at his calves.
He's
They're-
throwing it.
He can't
He's
walk
got
there.
like the Oliver Tree bowl cut haircut.
Oh my god, that's a good picture. Fuck.
Yeah, it's great.
Anger farting shit.
It's so
Yeah,
good.
I want that in a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. Right? That'd be great.
I'd be into that, yeah.
Anyways, like what after Joker and the Switch Ultimate Alliance, what character do you think should come next to Smash Brothers?
To Smash Brothers?
That's like completely left field for Nintendo. They would never put this in, but like since the announcement of Joker, everything's kind of opened up.
Call of Duty guy.
So
Just someone from a dude from Call of Duty.
So great.
Doom guy seems to be a cool thing.
Oh, that'd be funny.
To put in Smash
that'd be
Brothers.
really funny.
Yeah, I feel like he might be a bit too edgy.
His final
though.
smash could be the BFG.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I feel like you need to pick someone who's not like an edgelord. Like you can't put Kratos in there. You can't.
You could
I was-
put Dad
I was
Kratos
actually-
in there.
I literally
Maybe,
had that
but,
thought.
like-
And that would be fun. You could do some fun things with the Leviathan axe.
Yeah.
You could kind of like work that mechanic into his moves.
But I feel like he just doesn't like. I'd say Ridley is like the most grimdark character. You like. I'm amazed they put Ridley in the game, right? Because he's like terrifying. He's like a
Yeah.
big old fucking scary
he's
metal
already in
dragon.
he's already in the Metroid games.
Yeah.
And those are games from published by Nintendo.
So-
yeah. But it's like I feel like you gotta pick a character that fits the theme. of
Yeah,
Smash,
the thing about
right?
Kratos too is that he was in that terrible game, PlayStation All Stars
Yes,
Battle Royale.
I was thinking that same thing as well.
So I
Wasn't he
feel like
also in Soul Calibur?
I want Parappa the
yeah,
Rapper.
I don't know. Soul Calibur.
Oh wait, Parappa the Rapper was also in that fucking PlayStation.
Yeah, he was.
You know what? I want Gitaru Man.
What were
That's
you
a
gonna say,
Japanese.
I don't even know what you were gonna say. Anyways,
We both our trains of thought collided.
yeah, I was gonna respond
and
to something
derailed.
you were gonna say, but I don't know if you were gonna say it. Anyways,
I was playing God of War, and that thought literally popped into my head.
Yeah.
though, was I wonder if Kratos could work in Smash.
Holy
I wonder if they
shit.
could make it.
This is a bit. I want the prince from Katamari Damacy.
Oh,
Yes.
That's what I want.
Oh, that'd be funny.
I want
Yes.
the Prince from Katamari Damacy. That
Yeah.
guy would fit so well. So fucking
his,
well.
his final smash is he
Rolls
just,
everyone
he
into a
rolls
ball.
up the stage.
Oh god, that's even better. Fuck. Dude,
Yeah.
his side B is he pops out the ball and any projectile that's thrown at it gets added to the ball and he can choose to put the ball away. But then whenever he pulls it out, it has all those projectiles
Yeah.
on it. And, you
And
can
it
keep
just gets
rolling.
And the
stronger.
accumulated damage that
yeah. Oh, and if someone's shit, how could this work? I'm trying to think of ways you could put characters onto the ball. I just want to be able to do that.
That would have to be part of this final
It would have to
smash,
be
though.
like you could roll it over items that were on the ground and it would pick up the items and get bigger. Right. And that'd be sick as hell.
And as it gets bigger, it gets slower.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be a good
Yeah.
trade-off. Like it
Yeah.
becomes more powerful, but then he moves more slowly as as it gets bigger. Like it takes more for him
Yeah.
to move the ball.
Okay, so that's a good proposition.
There we go. Yeah.
What's another good
So
character?
Nintendo
from
has to
Smash?
pay us now, right? That's how this works.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically putting money on predictions for the next couple DLCs. One of them leaked, which Logan already mentioned.
There are actually like all of them leaked.
All of them
Yeah,
leaked.
yeah. One of them. There's one from like a really obscure rhythm game called like Beat Station 5.
I thought you were gonna say a really obscure rhythm game called Rhythm Heaven.
No, wait. There is one from Rhythm Heaven as well. I think
No.
a character from Rhythm Heaven is in it. Yeah.
They did it.
The
think they
reporter
did it.
from Rhythm.
I think it might be. Yeah. Wait, yeah, is that no? Because there's another one from like
the
a Space
stupid
Station
guy
rhythm
who
game,
you
but-
kept having to feed dumplings.
Yeah, that was one of them. Was a character from Rhythm Heaven is getting added to Smash Brothers.
Nintendogs.
Also, I think Banjo,
there already is an
Banjo
assist
and
trophy.
Kazooie are getting added as well.
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah. This was part of the leak. Was Isaac, Banjo and Kazooie, the guy from Rhythm Heaven, the people from Space Station game, and then some other fucking person.
It's a bit of a bummer they got leaked because like it was really cool seeing. It was cool seeing everybody's reactions to the previous like character on
like
unveilings.
Piranha Plant.
Well, not that one.
No, Piranha Plant was great. I was like, fuck yeah, such a weird character.
It was I was definitely cool with it. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is weird, but okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks unique.
Weird flex, but okay.
Weird flex, but okay. But yeah, like watching people's reactions to, and also my own reaction to Joker or King K. Rool or Ridley, any of the other ones. Yeah. And now you don't really get that. Now
Yeah,
that
well,
they've
the
leaked.
leak is still also kind of iffy. Like, it's
Well,
based
assuming
off
it's
of-
all true.
Yeah.
You had mentioned it seemed fairly legit.
It seemed kind of legit. Like, it's, I don't know, if it's faked, it's a pretty good fake. But yeah, I don't know. Especially with a game like Smash Brothers, this game's going to be out. People are going to be playing this game for years. Like, they're already
Yeah.
improving the online, which had some pretty glaring issues, and it already feels better. And that like
good.
these big reveals aren't going to matter in the long run. Right, like all I care about is whether I get to play Isaac from Golden Sun or whether I get to play the weird person from Rhythm Heaven. Right, like that sounds like fun.
I'm really curious to now look up who they're adding from Rhythm Heaven because in the circles that I'm in on Twitter, I've just been hearing a whole bunch of, hey, add the Karate Kid. Add the Karate Kid from Rhythm Heaven, the one who punches things.
Yeah, I don't know. It's somewhat. Maybe it's just Rhythm Heaven, the character. It just turns into.
It's the DS game box.
so good. Yeah.
Rhythm Heaven was a cool game. That was a hard game to 100% too.
I never played Rhythm Heaven, so I never.
Another good character would probably be Rayman.
Rayman would be good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be great actually. But he's like not super defined as a character, right?
Yeah.
He's just like. I don't know. Rayman was very much like early PlayStation era. We need a quirky character who stands out.
Yeah.
There's very little personality there. And the new Rayman games have been great for platformers, but again, haven't really, I don't know, they don't.
Yeah, there's not much unique to him
Yeah, he's just
in
like,
terms of abilities.
he's just like a zany 90s character.
Yeah. Way cool.
Way cool.
Yeah, so since the Marvel thing came out, I mean, Spider-Man could be in there.
Spider-Man could be in there.
But Spider-Man is a Sony character, so he would not be in there.
I would love it if like Shovel Knight was more than an assist trophy.
Yeah, he should be a character.
Or, you know what, Quote from Cave Story would be cool, but he's now in that indie brawler game or something. Like there's a bunch of, or fucking the Splunky guy. Would be super-
Yeah.
Or again, actually, so many, there's like an independent game, Smash Brothers coming out, and it has like Isaac from Binding of Isaac and like Shovel Knight in it and all these other characters. So I guess it would make sense that they're not in Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
It would be cool to be in Smash Brothers. I don't know. Or they just pull a fast one and put Waluigi in there.
There we go.
remove the
Give-
assist trophy.
Yeah.
Give the people
No,
what
keep
they
the
want.
assist trophy in there. It'd be amazing. You're Waluigi and you summon Waluigi
Waluigi,
into
yeah.
the world.
Both would be funny.
Yes.
Wah.
Wah. Wah. I recently went back and because I mean I'm not always able to my job I'm programming, so it's often hard to listen to music or have things on in the background, but the few times where I've been able to do that, I've just been rewatching recently finished rewatching all of the Giant Bomb Mario Party parties. God, that the first like 5 of those are fantastic, so funny, and then after that, like I start to like feel the misery. Like it stops being funny and just starts being really sad.
I would agree, because I actually haven't really watched past 5. Like I've watched the highlight reels for past 5, and that's like it.
5 is incredible.
Is that the live one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, fuck,
so
5 is
good. Like it,
Yeah.
it is a wrestling match.
Yeah, it's so
essentially.
good. I love it when like the crowd starts chanting Drew.
Yeah.
It's
When
so
they're
good.
when they're on the Mr. Driller clone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Worst Mr. Driller clone.
Oh Jesus.
God, that's so good.
And then when Dan wins, everyone boos.
Is there
really
going to be a
hard.
new one?
Yeah.
Has a new one already been made for the new Mario Party?
no, they
Super
did a
Mario
quick look, but it was just Giant Bomb East who did the quick look.
Right,
So I assume
They have to get Drew back for a
Yeah.
Super Mario Party, right?
Once he's back in town.
Yeah. Super Mario Party.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I thought maybe because they recently have been doing all their Game of the Year stuff, and everybody like, East is at West's headquarters right now, and they're
Right.
doing
yes.
The
holiday
deliberations,
streams.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the perfect time to do it.
I thought maybe they're saving that Mario Party
For the Christmas time.
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. While
Oh, fuck.
everybody's
I might buy a subscription just to watch that.
I'm excited for Hitsmas, where they play
Yeah.
Hitman. Have you seen that
God,
series?
I recently bought Hitman 1, the new Hitman 1.
Yeah.
For PlayStation 4. God, I want to play it, and I just haven't gotten to it. I've watched like a lot of the clips of him just hucking fucking fire extinguishers at people's heads.
Yeah.
also it's probably not in the game anymore. I assume it's not in the game anymore.
What?
But there was a bug on day 1 of the new Hitman
The suitcase.
game. The suitcase? Was it the suitcase?
Yeah, it was a suitcase.
I thought it was the fire axe.
So it was you throw the suitcase,
Yeah.
but if you lock onto a target, it would definitely like 100% of the time hit the target.
Yeah.
It would not just measure the trajectory.
Yeah.
So there's some bug.
Yeah.
The speed of the suitcase was really slow, so you could see it spinning very slowly
my
towards people. And they went downstairs and would follow them downstairs. They went around corners. It would follow them around corners.
It's so good. And then hit them, they instantly
Yeah.
die, right?
Did
It's
they?
so funny.
Did they fix that bug?
Well, again, I don't know for sure.
I kind of
but
feel like they should
assume-
not fix that
God, yeah,
bug
that would fix
because that's
so
part of the charm of Hitman, where
God.
it's such a fucking goofy game.
Well, they would fix it because it seemed like overpowered that it could just follow people around
Right.
corners like that. It
Because
seemed
you could throw it and then hide, and then no one would have seen you do the thing.
it seemed
I guess.
really easy to just chuck it and then it
Yeah.
would just follow them like a boomerang around.
Yeah,
the
if you
corner.
learn the routine of an NPC
Yeah.
and just
funny as shit.
and just see that they go to a secluded corner and throw it and then beat them to the secluded corner, just sprint,
Yeah,
and then as soon as they faint, you take their disguise.
but I would equally be, I would be down.
Yeah, keep
for them
it.
to leave
Keep it. Make it rare to find.
Holy shit, Hitman in Smash.
Oh,
So good.
That would be good.
Oh my god!
You could have a lot of fun designing that moveset.
Holy shit!
And
If he
all
really
his, like-
messed up, you would see him
No.
like strangling fucking Kirby.
He's Kirby's Echo Fighter. He takes their
Oh,
abilities.
It's just
That's it. We've done it.
Giant Hitman head. It's just a big old bald
Yeah.
47 head with little arms.
Yeah. Hitman and
People who
Kirby are the
modding
same
Switch,
character.
Get on it.
I was thinking like you select him in the
Oh my
fighter
God.
menu, and then when you change his color, he just has different disguises where he looks like other characters, other fighters.
But really poorly done.
Yeah, like really terrible.
Yeah.
And he's always very serious.
Yeah.
looking.
I'm on board.
And like there's taunts, the taunts depend on the character's disguise he's wearing, but it's in Agent 47's voice. So he'd be like, if he's Wario, he'd be like, wow.
If he's Pikachu, he goes Pikachu.
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 Pika.
Be good if he could also like have taunts where he like tries to blend in with what's happening on the
Yeah.
stage.
Oh, God,
This
yeah.
would be so much work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, that would be his shield. His shield would be a closet appears and he hides in it.
Yeah. I could just imagine the
like, it's
reveal
peeking out.
trailer for Hitman. It would have to be the Paris level from
Agent
Hitman 1.
47 joins the battle.
Yeah.
Agent 47
Hits it out of the park.
Agent 47 finds his mark or something.
Yeah. Picks his target.
This is good.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Hitman's great. Hitman, just put Hitman on Switch, you know?
Honestly,
That'd be good.
yeah.
That'd be super fun.
We should do our own Hitmas.
I've wanted to do it since I saw Giant Bomb do it.
Yeah.
And I love that game. Yeah, we should do Hitsmith.
Especially since I've never played the new Hitman.
Yes, that's even better.
Yeah, we'll figure something
Yeah, maybe
out.
it's not Hitsmith, maybe it's,
Hitsmoeen.
or Heaster.
Yeah. Hits.
Wait, what was your thing?
Hitster?
Halloween in July?
Yeah. Halloween, no, there's too many.
Yes.
Never mind. Halloween. No, it doesn't
Solid.
work.
No, that was good. I'm into it.
Okay, all right. Well, ship it.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's shipped.
It's done. The podcast is live right now.
It's done.
We've been live on
We're
Twitch
live.
the whole time.
Yeah. You just minimize that window, and it's like we're streaming.
Yeah. So we actually had a lot more to talk about than I expected, but I was gonna say the year's wrapping up. What were some of your guys' favorite, not just games, but just things generally that
Favorite things.
favorite pieces of media or art that came out of this?
Okay, I was going to
This
say
year.
still a big fan of breathing. Real big fan of that.
Yeah, breathing's all right.
Breathing's all right.
I do it from time. I've dabbled.
I dabble.
I've dabbled in breathing.
I've been known to.
You know what? Not all the time, but I'll do it from time to time.
Yeah. I'm like a social breather.
Yeah.
Social breather.
I mean, I just find it's rude if someone offers and you just
Yeah.
decline.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I take 2 breaths and I pass it to the right.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on Barrio.
Breathe, pass.
Free pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, favorite pieces of media, Logan, go.
Borf.
It's weird because at least for, I don't know if you're going to be the same, but for my choices, it's going to be a lot of games that we've already talked about at length on this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult because I don't know. It's been a very busy year for me, so I actually haven't been able to play as many games as I usually play, or even really engage in media in general.
Yeah.
I've seen so few movies this year, and I've
Yeah.
like read very few books, and I've like not played a lot of games. I've listened to a good amount of music, but not a ton. There's been a bunch of really good albums that were released this year. Idol's most recent album's real great. I've talked about it before on the podcast.
There's a lot of good music this year.
Yeah. But yeah, also like Lorne's new EP that was released this year was really good. But
We got a new Death Grips this year.
I still haven't listened to any Death Grips. We got to do that spin-off
save it.
podcast where I listen to it and we talk about it.
Yeah, we've
but,
talked,
Or we make a Christmas Death Grips album.
Oh, there we go.
where we just add the sleigh bells,
Sleigh bells.
to all their songs.
Also,
Yeah.
I think Monster Hunter World came out this year. I love that game,
Yeah.
and it was a great fucking game. And I'm really happy Monster Hunter
Right.
became mainstream.
Because it came out earlier in the year, and then you were super bummed because it wasn't going to come out for PC until way later.
so I bought a PS4 to play it.
Yeah, right.
It's all coming back. So that's and honestly, that game was phenomenal. I'm really excited that Monster Hunter has hit such a nerve here in the West now. Like that game series is so close to my heart. I love that fucking game series so much, and I think it has a lot of things that Western game design principles are missing, and they did such a good job with bringing it over. I'm excited for whatever this expansion, the like Ice World expansion they're bringing back one of my favorite monsters, the Narakuga. He's cool. Trying to think of like other stuff, but I don't know. Yeah, it's been just a busy year, like professionally and personally for me. So not like
feel
this
that.
this podcast has been great to be able to like talk about things, but yeah. How about you, Sandy?
Yeah, so much music that came out. I can't even pinpoint one thing that I liked. I can't. My memory only goes back like 3 weeks.
Yeah, we should have prepared for this. I should have
Yeah.
understood that this was the Christmas end of year episode that a
Yeah.
listicle thing would
That's
happen.
my bad.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I didn't go with a plan either.
I have no idea. The thing is, I don't really like with games, especially. I'll just play a game that came out way earlier. Like, I'll go to a game late, is what I'm saying. So I have no games of the year. I don't even know what games came out this year. Spider-Man came out, and I still haven't played that.
Spider-Man came out. God of War came out.
God of War came out, yeah. Red Dead 2 came out. I didn't even touch it.
Those are the big ones. Yeah. I'll probably play that next year.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'll probably get around to those next year, but I have a list.
Yeah. This just keeps growing.
Yeah. And movies...
Just looking through your Steam library?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of
Yeah.
In terms of movies, I can't... What movies came out this year even? I can't even think of any.
Well, I guess the new Avengers movie. I know that's not, the peak of cinema, but...
That's okay.
It was a good one of those films.
Like, the most movies I've watched recently are, like, the past week, I've actually watched 2 movies that are new. I watched this movie called Border, which was, like, a Swedish love crime drama about, like, a person with a facial disfigurement that was excellent, really good, but it was just like not a big blockbuster. And then I watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which is that Netflix thing done by the Coen brothers.
Right.
Really good. It's basically a book of short stories in film form. It's cool.
Sounds cool.
None of the stories relate to one another. It's just like, it's like 7 or 8. It's like really long. It's like over 2 hours. But yeah, it's cool. Each one has like a different kind of flavor to it. They all have like a bit of like Tarantino violence or Tarantino-esque violence in them. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Coen brothers are good at that. They're really good at making violence stand out, I would say.
Yeah, like I think about Burn After Reading especially, and like Burn After Reading has very little violence in it, but when it does come, it's just like shh.
Yeah, same with No Country for Old Men has a fair amount of violence, but it's spaced out fairly well, and when it happens, it really happens.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck came out this year?
Daredevil season 3 came out, which I liked.
And then they canceled it.
And then they canceled the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It had the highest rating since season 1, but they still canceled it because of the Disney new streaming service thingy that they're doing.
Right.
So there's like a shake up. I have no idea. Yeah, Matt, you go.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way where this year I felt like across the board I listened to less music and played less games and watched less movies this year.
Norm Macdonald's new show came out this year, so go watch that.
Norm Macdonald's new Shakedown.
New Shakedown. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
but
watched that.
Yeah, I still I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing because I was very busy in other aspects of my life, but yeah, I hope that next year I get to
Apparently Subnautica came out this year.
Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, I mean,
So
it was
there
in
you
early
go.
access for the past like 4 years
Yeah.
or however long, but it officially came out this year, and that's when I played it.
Okay, this is reminding me of a few things. I found a list of just games released this year, and there's games like Into the Breach. Great game. Loved it. Had a great time with it. What else?
Obra Dinn was
Celeste. Obra Dinn. What else here?
Celeste, I still need to get around to.
Celeste's great. God of War came out. Didn't play it. Here it's great. Gonna play it eventually.
Yeah, I actually technically haven't finished it, but I've gotten most of the way there. Loving it.
Oh,
way better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, I've heard.
I've never been a fan of the God of War franchise. Like I've known of the previous games, and they always looked fun, but they looked okay. Basically, it was like, oh, the spectacle looks really cool, and the combat seems like kind of fun in like a beat 'em up brawler kind of way. But yeah, this new game, like, talk about like a really interesting case study in how to completely like reapproach not only a game's or a franchise's story, but also its gameplay in such a way where it stays true to God of War's roots. Like it's still rooted in that same like sense of scale and spectacle and real like weight and punchiness to the combat, but like completely like reimagined in a really cool way and in a super well done setting. Like it's so cool that like this game basically makes it canon that the Greek pantheon of gods exists in the same universe, in the same realm as these Norse gods and this Norse mythology. Super cool. And like also taking like so cool that Kratos still isn't an amazing character, but like the fact that they've taken one of the least interesting characters in gaming who has one emotion, and that's anger. Sometimes it's frustration. And they took this super flat, static character and like developed him. And like, it's not amazing character development, but like he's a empathetic character now, who like he has clearly changed, and like seeing like that father-son relationship that's been done like before in so many stories, like applied to God of War, is just super interesting. I think they earn it.
Yeah, I think also the Dad of War thing is just something that seems to be just. Oh, a lot of the people who were into games when God of War, the original ones, came out are probably dads now. And so the target market is now dads. And like I think Last of Us hit that nerve as well.
I was going to say Last of
Well, the
Us.
guy who made it is a dad now. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And Warlock's a real cool guy.
really cool.
Real cool guy. Sea of Thieves came out, which was like an interesting game. Right.
I'm interested to go back to that game in I was thinking of like maybe this summer going back to it, and like if you guys wanted to play it, we could do that.
Yeah, we can try that.
That was a game that like had so much potential, but left me feeling disappointed by the time I was done with it. Like I thought, man, this has such a cool like foundation, like like being aboard a ship with your friends and having to man the sails and do everything by yourself, or having everybody running around the deck and kind of having a job to do on the ship. Super fun. And like being on the ocean is like, it's impressive. I think what they did with like the seafaring in that game. It's just a huge shame that there wasn't a lot of content there. I think there's more now. But yeah, when that game came out, like you could basically do everything.
There's like raids now in that game or something.
Yeah. Again, like, well, I'll go back to it in another like 6 months or a year and see if it's better. But yeah,
one other game that was phenomenal that came out was Minute. Minute was released. It's a great game where you just play 60 seconds and you die. I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just phenomenal. It's a great game. If you haven't played Minute, you should play Minute. What else? That Hulk or Donut Country.
Oh, Donut County's cool.
County. Yeah, I still haven't played that. I'm an idiot.
Hey, it's coming on the Switch. Buy it on the Switch.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's already out on the Switch now.
It probably is.
Go check it out. It's a good game.
I really want to play it, honestly.
It's a short but very
a new Earth
charming
Defense
experience.
Force came out like a few weeks ago, and Earth Defense Force is the greatest series of video games that's ever been released. It's a game about fighting giant insects, and it's schlocky as hell.
Dude,
it's not B movie.
I remember this.
It's like D movie.
Wow.
Level writing.
I'm into that.
It's amazing. I played Earth Defense Force 2077, Earth Defense Force 4.1. So there's the list was like, I think the first Earth Defense Force was 2017, which is great.
That's good.
And then I played 2077, and then the sequel to 2077 was 4.1, and now it's 5. But 4.1 was Earth Defense Force 2077, The Shadow of New Despair.
It's a good name.
And it's a game about fighting giant insects with a jetpack and a rocket launcher, and like in Japan, and it's fucking hilarious.
Okay, I'm into it.
And a new Earth Defense Force has just come out.
I'm on board.
I kind of want to play it. What else? There was a new Pillars of Eternity. That was all right.
Didn't come out this year, but another one of my favorite games. I actually put out a little like list on Twitter. I was like, hey, here are, I don't know if you saw it.
I did not. I'll look it up.
Here are the games that, not all of them came out this year. Some of them are old, but the ones that I played for the first time this year and that were my favorites.
Games you like ribbons at the top every single time.
Yeah, like how Donkey puts Super Mario Brothers 2 as the number one game every year.
So mad about that because I actually really like Super Mario Brothers 2, and now it's like a fucking meme, and I'm like, it's my favorite Super Mario Brothers that's 2D, and Donkey's fucking ruined it. I'm so mad about it.
Made a meme out of
and whenever I say like I love Super Mario Bros. 2, they're like, yeah, baby, and I'm like, fuck off, fuck off. That game's great, and fuck you.
Super Mario.
Super Mario.
So mad about that.
Did somebody say Nick?
Okay, I love the knack shit, but God, I'm mad.
Knack 2, baby.
Wait, where's this this list you've done. I can't. Oh, found it. Okay,
Here
games. Oh, you
comes
made a
the
little
money.
infographic. All right, let's see.
Infographic.
Obra Dinn, that's good. God of War, cool. Darkwood, that I haven't played it, but I've heard
That
good
was the one I
things.
was gonna bring
Mirror
up.
Drop, you're welcome. Hylix, Subnautica, Hollow Knight, and Fury. Okay, cool.
That was my little
Mirror Drop,
mini
yeah, it's a
list.
good one as well. Yeah,
Mirror Drop
That's
is
a
really
very
cool.
cool game that came out this year.
Yeah, a little short.
Yeah, but I think it didn't need to be longer. Honestly,
Yeah, you're right.
Like I would say it might be even a bit too long for like what it was.
And if you really want more, you can go back and try to. You can unlock a set of final levels by completing the previous levels in as few turns as possible.
Oh, really?
There's a quota,
Oh, I didn't know that.
and it's like, hey, if you can. Yeah, it's different for each level, obviously.
That's cool.
Yeah, take as few movements as possible to complete them all, and then you'll.
But it was made
unlock
like by one dude, so I'm like,
It's impressive,
let him
and
do
it looks
what he
gorgeous.
does. Oh yeah,
It's a gorgeous
beautiful,
looking game.
Beautiful game. Yeah,
super psychedelic.
yeah, super psychedelic, super hot.
I played that last year. Very, very good game. Yeah, I was gonna briefly bring up Darkwood because that was another game that I thought was super cool and interesting and really like nailed the tone that it was going for. It's an abysmal game in terms of setting and story. It is just like suffocatingly grim. Not a speck of happiness in that game. But just like the top-down style and like the it almost seems like I think it's hand drawn. It maybe not hand drawn, but it kind of has that visual style.
Yeah, yeah.
The day-night cycle is interesting, and
Was there day in that game?
yeah.
Fuck.
It's basically you have to come back to your shelter, which
Okay.
your shelter can be in like you can have multiple shelters in different parts of the forest.
Right.
And the idea is you hold up in the shelter, you barricade the windows, and you can move pieces of furniture in front of the doors.
Yeah.
To prepare yourself. And there's like this little oven somewhere in the house connected to this system of pipes that run through the shelter that disperse like this like healing fog that like keeps the darkness away.
Right.
And that's so you're only safe in the shelter. If you're out at night, you die.
Okay.
The forest kills you.
Right.
But creatures and monsters can still come in and mess you up. They can
Right.
still kill you in the house. So every night, basically, you have to pack up your stuff and then hide in a corner with a weapon, essentially, and just wait for things to come into your house. And to bring up Mandalore again, I think Mandalore put it perfectly, where he summed it up by saying that game, no other game that he has played, and I think that I've played as well, like has done a better job capturing that feeling of being in a desperate holdout, basically. It's really cool.
That's cool, yeah.
That game really does a great job conveying that feeling of suspense when you are like hiding at night.
It's been on my wish list for a long time. Like I've been wanting to get it for a while, but I can't work up to buy another fucking horror game. I get so stressed out playing this fucking.
It's a really it takes a very subtle and kind of measured approach to horror, though. There's like basically not a jump scare in the entire game.
Right.
It's just a whole lot of like the setting is very creepy. You are basically trapped in this haunted forest that never stops growing and has like trapped this section of countryside. And so if you're in it, you just can't escape. The trees have grown too high and the forest has grown too thick. And the forest has also infected the creatures and the people within it.
Right.
And so you see all these different things. Like you see people who have like been absorbed by the trees, and so you have like this weird like almost like H.R. Geiger like imagery, but it's like organic, and so it's like you have that same general appearance, but it's tree roots and just a lot of disturbing imagery that's like never. It's almost like a fairy tale where it's grim, but it's still it's always mysterious, and the game never really explains a lot of the things that you see, which is great. I think it would ruin a lot of the experience if like the game explained exactly what all these horrific things were that you were seeing, or if they were even bad in the first place, if that makes sense. Yeah, super cool. Darkwood's a neat game. I highly recommend that.
Cool.
Neat.
Yeah, the game's mapping system is cool too. You have a map, but you basically have to work off of landmarks.
Okay.
Your position is never shown on the map. You just have to memorize. Like you have the map, and you know that this pile of like logs is here, or this like burned down house is here, and this is where I am relative to that. So therefore, I'm here, and my shelter is up north, and I have to get there now because night is falling.
Right.
So
That's
cool.
super cool. I'm into that.
Has there ever been a game that does that where you are not shown on the map, but there's landmarks on it, but you can rotate the map? I'm sure, right? There has to be.
I'm sure.
I think Firewatch might have done that.
Because
You
in real
could,
life, you would rotate the map in that case.
Yeah. To figure out where you're pointing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're right. Firewatch, actually, I think by default, you are shown on the map. I turned that off, though.
Yeah, I think I turned that off.
I think it's more fun if you have to figure it out with landmarks.
I'm trying to think if there's a game that doesn't.
I mean, that's an obvious thing that every game should do.
I feel like there was a game that did that, but I can't remember it. Yeah,
Well-
Far Cry doesn't even do that.
It's not a
Far Cry
quiz.
just-
Relax.
Yeah, well, I'm not
cool.
relaxed.
It's an interesting question. I'm trying to
I don't remember it. Shit.
more
Stop the
examples.
podcast.
Yeah, just turn it
Stop
off.
the podcast.
DayZ kind of did that.
Yeah.
Not a great game, but I think
Hey, credit where credit's due.
Hey, that came out.
first of all,
That's out now. It came out like a few days ago.
the
What?
beta. I think
No, DayZ's out. of
Full
Version
release?
1?
Early access. It
You're
is
kidding
out.
me.
Yes.
No,
A few days ago. It has
No.
got very bad reviews on Steam.
Well, I mean,
Matt
it always
reaches
did.
for his phone.
I need to know. I open my phone. This is the first thing I see.
Modoc.
Modoc. I can't believe it. I thought that game was in early access when I was still in high school. That's how long it's been.
Yeah, that was 20 years ago.
At least 20 years ago.
We
yeah.
are 84 years old. Matt was in high
Credit-
school a long time.
Yeah. Credit where credit is due. DayZ mod also did a really good job with atmosphere, and I enjoyed the hell out of the DayZ mod. Like, I think the standalone is not a great game.
I never played the DayZ.
It was fun. Yeah, it was really neat, and I had some really good times with it. But it did a cool thing where basically you spawned without a map, but you could find one, and then I don't think your position was shown on the map.
That's cool.
So you kind of had to figure it out, and yeah, you would, especially because you would always spawn on the coast, and you would kind of have to figure out where you were on the coast based on what town you seemed to be near and like what landmarks were around you. So oftentimes people who spawned in and were trying to find their friends, they would say, "Oh yeah, I'm near the lighthouse," or like the lighthouse is west of me.
Oh yeah, I remember when Rust first came out, it did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rust was super fun for that because when you spawned in, you had to.
Oh
try
my
and
god,
figure
it's
out where you were.
$60 now.
It is $60 now.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's all right. But Rust did that. Apparently, Scum. So there's a game called Scum that came out that seems to be the new DayZ game of choice by people. People seem to like
The
it
people's
a lot.
choice.
The People's Choice.
Scum.
Scum. Yeah, it's published by Devolver.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah. You're like an escaped
Wow.
convict.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like robots
Holy.
in the world. I don't
Police
fucking know.
robots.
Police robots.
This came
or
out
something.
last week.
Last
DayZ
week.
1.0 is now live on Steam.
Yes.
Free weekend inbound. You can play for
Woohoo.
free this weekend.
Sweet. I will not.
No, neither will I.
My laptop cannot run that game.
Nobody's computer can run that game. It's true. It's so poorly optimized. Oh, man. I've been playing a little bit more Arma 3, actually, just with some friends.
Oh yeah.
And it's neat. It's cool that that game is so easily moddable and that there's so many different things you can do with it.
I've been thinking about picking up the Skyrim mod Enderal or something. Somebody made a total conversion mod for Skyrim called Enderal, and all it requires is like the original Skyrim game, and then you just press a few buttons on their website, and it just installs it correctly. So it's like everything I hate about mods is gone. And I was like, I could go for Skyrim again, but I don't want to play Skyrim again. No offense, Todd. And Enderal seems like right up my alley. I really want to
Enderal.
play. It's going to come out on Steam like in a few months, but you can get the full
wow.
thing on their website right now. And I was looking into it. It came out like in 2016. And
It's already on Steam, or there's already a page for
Yeah,
it.
exactly. And it looks real cool. And like, I don't know, I just kind of want to play Skyrim again. Fuck.
Yeah.
I like their logo. Their banner art looks really cool.
Yeah, no, it looks really professionally made. Like everything's voice acted as well. It's like
Yeah,
crazy.
this looks super legit.
Yeah.
Huh, maybe I'll have to check that out.
You better
Neat.
fucking check that out. Neat.
Neat.
Trix.
Neat tricks. Logan doesn't know this. Don't do
I
this
don't
to
know
him.
this. And also, it's an audio format.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't be the first time.
All right, what next?
Also, my favorite game this year was Riven.
Yay!
Everybody should play Riven.
MGS5 still takes the cake for me.
Oh.
Best indie game.
Riven's my favorite indie game.
I mean, technically, kind of works. Small team.
Yes, I guess Cyan.
Back then, every company
Cyan
was an indie
independent.
company.
Yeah.
Fair
Back then,
enough.
Nintendo was an indie game.
Nothing's as good as Splunky. Eat my dick, everybody. It's a great game.
Okay.
Fuck off.
Cut it off.
Seriously though, if
I
you,
like it
if
medium
you-
rare.
If you like puzzle games, first of all, you should play Return of the Obra Dinn. Second of all, you
Yes.
should play Riven. It's a very good game.
And then maybe check out Metal Gear Solid 5.
maybe,
Didn't get-
maybe. Even though it's not a puzzle game.
Actually,
Hey.
yeah, fuck that. I think Obra Dinn was the best game of the year. That's my game of the year, probably hands down. That game was so fucking good. Yeah, Return of the Obra Dinn, game of the year 2018. Game Awards gave it best art direction. What? But all right.
Why not?
Because
Looks
like
cool.
it does look cool, but like it was up. They gave it best art direction because they couldn't feasibly give it any other category because of these huge companies.
Yeah.
But like it was against God of War. God of War has a way more talented art director than Lucas Pope, right? Like Lucas Pope is a very talented man, right? Obra Dinn is my game of the year. Its art direction is not the best part of the game,
Yeah, that's true.
right?
I think it's still a very strong part of it, though.
Yeah, I mean, it makes it's recognizable, but like honestly, it's the mechanics and storytelling of that. Like it should have won for narrative design, right? Or it should have won for like gameplay design. If there's, I think that's just game of the year, right?
I don't think Jeff Keighley approves of this banter.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Obra Dinn game of the year, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
God damn it, that
For
game's
me,
amazing.
it's Spider-Man. I haven't played it yet, but it's probably Spider-Man. Let's be honest.
That's good. That's a good bet.
Of the games that I played this year, again, not necessarily ones that came out in 2018, it's probably Hollow Knight for me.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
If it had to be one that came out this year, then it might be Obra Dinn. It might also be God of War is probably up there. I don't know if it's my number one, but it's
Yeah, God of War looked excellent.
I've enjoyed the hell.
All
out
I
of
know is it's definitely not Red Dead.
it. Yeah,
That game sucks. I finally got to play a bit of it. Game sucks. I'm so mad that Red Dead got as many good reviews as it did. And then I played it and I was like, this game fucking sucks. And I hate it because, look, a lot of people worked really hard on that and they worked a lot of overtime and I feel bad about that. But fuck, that game feels old. That game feels so old. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it seems rooted in the same game design principles that maybe not really enjoy GTA 4.
Yeah, well, no, the thing is that...
And I guess like parts of 5 as well. Like I really liked GTA 5 for like reasons that were completely unrelated to like those aspects of game design that Rockstar is known for. You know what I
Right.
mean?
I feel like that's the thing is I feel like Rockstar's known for a bunch of aspects of game design that aren't good anymore. Like they're just like shallow.
I'm tired of them. Yeah.
No,
I don't want them in my games anymore.
It's that like the game I like the most from Rockstar is GTA 4 because it did a bunch of things that Rockstar doesn't usually do, right? Like I don't know, like it decided to be like less cartoony with the GTA world, but then Rockstar Red Dead maybe went a bit too far in the other direction. Like it tried really hard to be realistic in a game world where it's just fucking ridiculous. Like the horse collisions are hilarious and it just doesn't mesh. It's really detailed. It's a beautiful game, but like, God, Red Dead sucks.
It's kind of the opposite of Hitman, where Hitman knows the universe is serious, but everyone plays it goofy. So they facilitate that goofiness.
Exactly,
You
yeah.
know? Whereas Red Dead, you can probably do a bunch of goofy shit, but it somehow doesn't mesh as well as the Hitman stuff does.
Definitely, yeah. I'd say like thematically, it's all over the map.
Yeah.
Right. And then gameplay wise, it's also all over the map. There's like a huge problem with how rigid the mission structure is versus the open world aspect of the game. They're like, we're making an open world game. All of the missions are linear corridor shooters, but you have a big open world. But if you go outside of our corridor that we've invisibly put in the world, you lose the mission. Right.
Yeah.
It's terrible design.
to be
terrible.
fair, it was the same thing in GTA 5.
Yeah,
I would say-
also a terrible
yeah.
game. I think GTA
Yeah.
5 is way overhyped as well, right? And I
still
think
enjoyed
GTA
it.
4 is underhyped. I think GTA 4 is a great game. But
I really enjoy my time with GTA 5, but I completely understand.
I played 5 hours of GTA 5 and then I never played it again. I was like I like walked down a street and I was like, this is amazing. I was like, I walked down, I listened to a person's phone conversation, right? This is so cool.
Yeah.
And then
And then I started playing GTA 5.
And then I actually played the game, and I was like, "This game sucks." Like, I feel like Rockstar hasn't made a good game for years, like over a decade.
I do get similar vibes from Red Dead, and I mean, yeah, it's one of those games where I look at it and it looks incredibly impressive. Impressive is the number one word I would use to describe that game. But in terms of being a game that I will enjoy playing, I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah. But I look at that and I compare it to like Obra Dinn, and I'm like, Obra Dinn is such a carefully considered, well structured, impeccable piece of art, right? And then you look at Red Dead, it's just like fucking this. Look how beautiful this thing is. And it's like, look at how the mud terraforms around your like fucking horse's balls.
And more to your point, I feel like Obra Dinn is the kind of game where it has taken full advantage of its medium.
Yeah.
Like, it is a great example of a game as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, especially with all the shit that came out from Rockstar before fucking
I'm sorry, I didn't realize the end of this podcast would be us talking about our favorite games and then shitting all over Red Dead 2. I haven't even played it.
I've played it for like an hour.
So we're fully qualified.
So yeah, I guess like a big heaping tablespoon of salt, but like honestly, like read the news, everybody. Red Dead's bad. Okay,
follow the money.
Like
Follow the money.
Not even follow the money. Like it's really interesting now to see the like journalist cycle and like the pundit cycle kind of turn on Red Dead, and everyone go, "Oh, this game's actually not as good as we made it out to be," because there's just this hype cycle because of like your fucking horse's balls shrunk in the cold, right? And everyone's like, "It's amazing," and it is. That's amazing.
Impressive.
Some fucking guy spent 60 hours a week for 4 months to make those balls shrink realistically.
Impressive.
Right? And I'm like, I'm sorry, guy. I'm sorry you spent 4 months of your life on that. And you did a great job.
Impressive.
Impressive, yeah.
It's impressive.
You know what? I think that's what Red Dead 2 is. It's impressive, but it's just that it leaves an impression.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the full review.
Yeah.
Full review.
I will probably play it next year, and when I do, I
I'm
think
never
I'll
going to buy that game.
I'll stream it. And I'll see what's
You
what's
can't
what.
stream it. It's so slow.
Yeah.
Well, even just as like a way to like get out my first impressions. And
yeah.
for anybody who's interested to watch.
Okay. But it like from what I've seen, it's very slow.
Yeah, it does look slow. I was gonna say one more quick thing before we move away and wrap this up. I think what you were talking about, like that clash with like the fun you can have in a Rockstar open world versus like how serious they basically that serious tone that they wrap everything in and
Yeah.
like that is conveyed through the story. I feel like even GTA 5 did a really good job like being tongue-in-cheek with a lot of its story and its characters.
Yeah.
Like there was a seriousness to it, but they knew like ultimately that you would be goofing off in their open world.
Yeah, and I understand why they could not do that with Red Dead because it's a bunch of serious cowboys and there's like serious grudges and shit that are happening, whatever it is. I don't know what the story is at all. You can probably tell.
Yeah.
But if it's an open world game, everyone's gonna want to do goofy, fun shit because newsflash, games are supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
If it's not fun, what's the point? In the words of Reggie
But
Fils-Aimé.
it's not even that I'm angry about. Like the thematic issue is one thing, but it's that they made an open world game and then they built a big old open world and then they designed a linear game.
Yeah.
Like they just were like, oh, look at this big old world, nothing to do.
Yeah.
No, we're not going to take advantage of it at all. You have a camp that you can like feed and put money into. There's no reason ever to do anything with the camp. Ever. Why the fuck is it in there? Like there's so much, like it's a huge part of the game and it has no point, right? They could have even like a suggestion thrown out by a bunch of designers is just like fucking make it so certain parts of the story are locked off until you put enough money into your camp, right?
Yeah, I mean,
And
that's
then
a simple thing.
This is something that Baldur's Gate 2 did in their first chapter and it was beautiful and like that wasn't even an open world game and they're like, we have a few areas. You need to just raise $20,000 in the first act of Baldur's Gate 2. They're like, go figure out how to do that.
Yeah.
Right? if you do that in Red Dead, it'd be so good.
I think that's like the perfect way to tie your linear story into your open world.
Yeah.
is by and like Morrowind did this.
Yeah.
Morrowind forced like, hey, you can't
This is what
progress
I'm
the
saying.
story until
It's
you
like,
explore the open world.
People were saying Red Dead feels like it's 7 years behind in open world design. It's like it didn't even try to do open world design. Like it's not even 7 years behind. It's 20 decades behind.
No,
like,
it's probably not even 20 decades behind because the developers then recognized their limitations. These people were like, well, let's make an open world and not worry about the story.
Yeah.
Or how the story interfaces with the open world. And they made this impressive world, but there's nothing
Yeah.
want to do in it.
Yeah. Or
Other
the
than
things
just
that you do
explore.
in it just don't make sense with the rest of the
things
game.
that you want to do in it
Yeah.
don't make sense
Exactly.
with the story.
It's like it's just that I keep coming back to Breath of the Wild, and I'm like, Breath of the Wild came out and this like amazing way of designing an open world and making it feel rewarding as a player to do the thing you're supposed to be doing in the game, which is exploring, right? And it's just that Red Dead drops the ball in literally every aspect, like except for I like what they did with the shooting. The shooting feels sluggish and weird, and I love that. Right. That's the thing I love about GTA 4 as well, is the shooting feels weird as shit in GTA 4. It's like you get shot and you get flown around and you're like, and you fall over. It's fucking great. Like, fuck.
You could like trip on a street
Fuck,
corner.
fuck everybody being a goddamn SWAT trained fucking gun
Assassin.
assassin. Like, I love playing a game where you're just a fucking guy who bought a gun at a gun shop down the store and doesn't know how to use it. Fuck yeah. And that's what Red Dead feels like. You're like, I don't know what a fucking 6-shooter is. I'm drunk. And then you just shoot. Like, you're always drunk. You're a cowboy.
In that way, I think Red Dead might have a similar problem to this game, even though this game's mechanics are way more fun, conducive to fun. But Just Cause 4 just came out.
Oh yeah, I've heard the discussion around
No one. Why would you want to do a mission when you can attach balloons to a car, write it up, and then turn on the boosters and the balloons, and then you can fucking do anything you want. You can attach cars to bodies and then attach boosters, and then
apparently
they
the
fly
story in
up.
that game's really serious. Like there's like very few
Yeah, it's
silly
like
missions.
it's like there's a revolution happening, and you're kind of the leader of it almost. But why would you want to take part in that when you can wingsuit around, attaching boosted balloons to everything?
Did you see the greatest Easter egg ever that's in Just
I
Cause
did.
4?
It's very
I have
good.
not.
So at one point in Just Cause 4, I haven't played it, but I have seen this Easter egg. You can. What's the guy's name again? Rico?
Rico, he walks up to a mountain.
Rico Rodriguez.
You walk up to the top of this mountain. Right.
And what do you see before you?
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to ask some questions first.
Sure. Yeah.
Is it related to a different game?
Yes.
Is it related to a different game that this company makes? I don't know what
No.
the company is even.
No.
If you're on a mountain, it must be a Skyrim thing.
No.
Fuck. Okay, just give it to me.
Okay, so I will give you a hint. There's a pot at the top of this mountain.
It's a Zelda thing?
No.
You get inside the
You
pot.
get inside of the pot.
Oh, yes! I saw this! Oh my god, yeah.
God,
Getting over it.
So good.
Suddenly the game is it's a side-scrolling perspective, and you are climbing a mountain.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
can like go out of it and bug the game and just run around this 2D plane of the world in the pot. Some people have like flung it around and you just launch out and then you're just in the world, but you're 2D. It's like weird as shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's good.
I was really happy when I saw that.
Yeah.
But overall, yeah.
So there's a game that knows that people playing it are not taking it seriously.
Yeah, and also drop the ball, it seems.
Yeah, because like the story
Yeah.
is super serious.
Yeah.
And also
Yeah.
like, is the mission structure like linear?
No. The
No.
mission structure in Just Cause 4 is not. It's like Just Cause 4 does a better job with its open world design than Red Dead, but that's not saying a lot. 'Cause
Yeah,
Red
like
Dead
you-
is such a low bar.
You gain territory and then you do a bunch of missions and you gain these points to gain the territory.
It actually reminds me a lot of Mercenaries, the original Mercenaries on PS2. They have this cool mechanic that I really like the idea of in Just Cause 4, where when you push forward that front line of the battlefield, there's actually like a frontline battle happening on the world map, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it feels like a war zone, right? I mean, a lot of the reviews are saying it doesn't do anything, which is okay. But in Mercenaries, the same thing happened. There was like a demilitarized zone and then like a front line, right? And going there was really intense. You'd have two sides just fighting each other constantly. And I kind of really dig that in an open world game.
Just have make it feel like the world is actually doing a thing, even if it never actually changes.
That's cool.
But,
yeah, I like that as well. Yeah, making the world feel like it's events in it are going to keep going no matter whether or not your character is in the world. Yeah, I'm always a sucker for stuff like that.
There you have it. Red Dead sucks.
Red Dead sucks.
Obra Dinn, Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Art direction should go to God of War. The Game Awards are a sham. Go play Smash Brothers and hope.
Video games are at the crossroads between art and garbage.
We were totally wrong that it's never been a better time to be a gamer.
A gamist. Let's be a little.
Actually,
more, let's not be so uncouth. Okay.
This was a great year for games. I think. Aside from it was a bad game for game companies. Fuck. Lots of layoffs.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, a lot of companies closed up. Yeah.
Cool news. First Game Workers Union opened up in the UK.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago.
I heard about that.
Really cool.
Also, I can't believe we didn't bring it up at all, but man, the stuff that's happening with online stores right now.
Oh yeah, Epic Game Store seems really cool.
Crazy interesting. Yeah. I'm into it.
The Discord store is doing some crazy stuff with revenue share. The Congregate store is doing some cool stuff.
It's gonna be so crazy watching how that all unfolds in the new year.
Definitely, yeah. And speaking of the Game Awards, so many fucking weird things were announced at that. Like Hades, the new Supergiant game.
That looks cool.
Which is crazy. Ashen just came out, and I remember seeing the trailer for that and thinking that looked cool. Fortunately, my laptop can't run it. Very sad. And an expansion for the Stanley Parable.
Yeah,
which was crazy, and I'm definitely going to buy.
What is up with that?
I can't wait to play that.
It was a funny trailer.
That came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
That's a good point. The last bit of news I expected to hear out of the Game Awards was more content for the Stanley Parable.
Yeah. Oh god, and the trailer for that was phenomenal. Where they like had. They had the announcer talking about stuff, and he's like, we were so happy about you guys heaping so much praise upon the Stanley Parable. Let us go back down memory lane. And then it cuts to a bunch of award shows, and it goes like, best writing goes to Gone Home, Papers, Please, Gone Home, Papers, Please. It's so good.
That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Fuck, it was funny.
Gone Home, isn't that the game you can like beat in 3 seconds?
I mean, you beat a lot of games in 3
maybe.
seconds.
Myst, you can.
No, like without glitching it. Like if you know how to beat it, I guess you can beat it.
I mean, I think you
seconds?
can turn around and leave right away.
Oh, and that's beating it.
Yeah, Stanley Parable, you can also do that. But Gone Home was it was the walking simulator that got everyone very mad about walking simulators, but also showed that walking simulators could be great games, or at least less esoteric than Dear Esther.
Yeah.
And Gone Home's phenomenal. It's an incredible, quote unquote tour de force of game design.
Cool.
I really liked it. I remember playing it. It was probably 3 years ago at this point that I played it, and I had already been like up all night. It was like 12:30, and then I decided to boot it up and like basically beat it in one night. And it was just like,
yeah, it's like a 2-hour game.
Yeah, finishing that game super early in the morning and having it just be a very like solitary experience.
Yeah,
and it was really nice.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I don't know. I remember booting it up and not knowing what it was. Really.
Yeah,
like I knew it was a walking simulator, and I knew you were alone in a house, and I was like. And it's great because it plays with that. It like makes it seem like it might be a horror game for the first like 30 minutes.
I really like how it kind of teases at that.
Yeah, and then that becomes like a playful part of the story, which is really, really well done.
Playful. Yeah, playful is a good word for it.
But yeah, it's just a great game.
Yeah, I'm definitely on the
Game of the Year
side
2018.
the fence.
Ukulele.
Yeah.
That's Game of the Year.
No.
Game of the Year 2014.
Wait, did Mario Odyssey come out this year? Or was that last year? That was last year. Never mind.
There you go.
Because I was like, if Ukulele and Mario Odyssey came out in the same year, Ukulele could just... Sorry, guys. Mario Odyssey came out. It's a great game.
Odyssey is a very good game.
There we are. That's the podcast. What did you have for lunch, Matt? We never finished our game show.
Oh, wait. And we should probably talk about what we're looking forward to next year real quick.
Wait, no, hold on. This is more important.
Yeah, what's...
I have goulash.
Okay. What are you looking forward to in 2019, Logan?
I'm looking forward to hopefully a new King Gizzard album and hopefully a new Car Seat Headrest album.
King Gizzard didn't put out a single album this year.
I mean, obviously, because they put out 5 last year.
Yeah, they spent them all on one place.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the next year is like when they're gonna say we took a year off. Here's our one album for this year, and then hopefully they tour and like I can see them again. I'm really, really excited for Kentucky Route Zero to finish up. There's even still a chance they release it before the end of this year, and if that happens, then fuck Obra Dinn. Kentucky Route Zero is the best game of the year. No, if they release it like on the final day of the year, like the last King Gizzard
11:59.
Yeah. I forgot the last King Gizzard album came out on the 31st.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to those. In film, I haven't really kept my ear to the ground for movies. So I'm sure there's going to be things coming out. Isn't there like a new fucking Marvel?
Yeah.
There's always a new Marvel movie.
Yeah, so I'll probably watch whatever the fuck that is.
Yeah. I'll go see it as well.
Yeah.
That'll at least be they'll be wrapping up that version of their cinematic universe, so that's it's cool.
Yeah. I'm excited for that new From Software game, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice or whatever.
Yeah, that comes out in March.
Yeah, I'll probably buy that when that comes out.
I'm excited about that.
Because I really dug Neo, which was the Dark Souls like made by Ninja Theory, or was it Ninja Theory? Team Ninja? Probably Team Ninja.
Grappling hook mechanics. And
grappling.
being able to augment your arm in different ways.
Yeah, looks real cool. Yeah. Looks like a similar kind of like, this is like a Bloodborne twist where it's like Dark Souls, but we changed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. And Bloodborne was a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
I'm willing at this point to go out and say that Bloodborne is straight up, if not my favorite game, period, like definitely in the top 3.
Yeah, I gotta finish playing through it because like I played through a bit of it. I spoiled the whole game for myself, so I was just an idiot. But I'd say like if I had played through it when it first came out, it would probably be my favorite Souls game. Probably not my favorite game of all time, but definitely my favorite of the series. But I think that still belongs to Dark Souls or maybe Demon Souls. I hope they remaster Demon Souls.
Yeah,
shit, they should remaster Demon Souls. If they remaster Demon Souls, I would buy it again and I would probably play it.
I would play it for the first time because I never played the original Demon Souls. I would definitely pick that.
It would be weird coming out nowadays, but it would be really cool. Because that game had so many weird design decisions.
Interesting.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Be really interesting to go back to that, to a remastered version of that. Now that we've had all these other Souls-born games.
Yeah, I went back and played a bit of my version of it that I had for PS3, like when Dark Souls 3 came out, and it is a shock to the system. It is much more clunky. It is really hard.
Even Dark Souls 1, I have found is actually a little bit harder to go back to now, just because it feels a lot slower than later entries.
Yeah, well, I kind of like that about it. Demon Souls specifically is way slower. Like, it's slower than Dark Souls even. It's a super slow game. And it's kind of designed, like the world is smaller as well, but it doesn't feel smaller because it's so much slower. Like you move from place to place like a glacial pace. Anyways, Sandy, what are you looking forward to next year?
Fuck.
2019.
Oh yeah, I thought it was 2016 or something.
I know, yeah. I get them mixed up. They flip it around.
If only.
Yeah. What's even coming out? I don't even know. I don't know.
Definitely a bunch of things that have slipped my mind.
I have no idea what's coming out.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Oh,
We'll just cross those bridges as we come to them.
Yeah, look at that.
Is the new is the RE2 remake coming out next year?
Probably.
Oh, I'm excited for that too. Yeah.
Hopefully Death Stranding comes out. That seems cool.
Yeah, that's the thing that's coming out.
The new Last of Us, maybe?
Yeah.
Right? Wait, what am I talking about? Splunky 2 comes out next year.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Splunky 2. Greatest game of all time. Gets a sequel. Cannot wait. I still listen to the Splunky podcast that comes out like every 2 weeks now.
It's Game of the Year 2019. You've already decided.
I've already decided.
Preemptively.
So I'm playing so much of that.
Year.
I'm going to play that game every day for the entirety of when it comes out until the end of that year. Because I'll just do the daily challenge every day.
Yeah.
I know I will. I can't wait for that fucking game. Oh, and hopefully Elder Scrolls Blades comes out on the phone. And I'll be able to be excited about an Elder Scrolls game.
That's what you're going to end the podcast on?
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, God.
Elder Scrolls Blades all the way. Todd Howard, I love you.
All right, well.
I love you, Todd Howard.
With that, thank you so much for listening.
God, I love you so much.
This has been episode 34, I believe, of Quizzicast. I hope I'm getting the number right.
9 episodes strong.
Yep. On a more serious note, I'm really happy with this us getting, well, I mean, you guys are on the podcast for the first time essentially, but me going back to putting out this podcast has been a lot of fun, and I hope we get to do more of it. I've been a lot busier lately, and I think I'll probably still keep it on temporary hiatus just until I can wrap up like a couple of things I have on the go.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm just way too busy. But yeah, I'm super excited with how these episodes have gone. And
Yeah.
it's been, I think you put it well, where it's cool to every other week be able to like sit down and like talk about the things that we've like been up to and been enjoying.
Yeah, definitely. And like I've been really enjoying the time on the podcast as well. I didn't realize how much I could talk about garbage.
It's one half of video games.
I know, yeah. And I sometimes dip into the art category, but like mostly just
Mostly
garbage.
Mostly just hot
I think
trash.
I think like the Venn diagram, you should move art further away, and video games are primarily garbage.
Yeah. Mostly made up of
Yeah.
just filth.
Video games, 90% garbage, 10% art, 20% concentrated power of will, like that meme.
Yeah. What's a meme?
99% hot gas.
That checks out.
Meme school.
Art School comes out next year. That's my game of the year.
What the fuck's art school?
I'll send you a link later.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, one other thing, because it's the holiday season, and I just found out about this wonderful game that's holiday focused. There's a game called Skeal, Skeal. It's free. Just type in Skeal, Itch.io, probably. Don't read anything about it. There's some articles on Rock Paper Shotgun about it. Don't read them. Play Skeal. Doesn't take long.
With no context.
It's beautiful.
Just
You will cry. It's an astonishing triumph of game and artistic design.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was our
Ho.
thrown together Game of the Year
Ho,
discussion.
ho, ho.
Oh,
Games of the Year discussion.
Merry Christmas.
Yuletide blessings to all.
Yep.
And happy holidays and
Happy holidays, however you choose to celebrate.
snow.
See you in the new year. I hope that, I hope this year ended on a good note for everybody listening. And we'll see you in 2019.
Thanks.
Farewell.
Bye.